Well, the calendar says it is still summer, and the weather certainly agrees. But fall is here because it's football season. And we are live at Fitch High School. You are listening to Game Day on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, and we will bring you our first game of a packed game day season as the Fitch Falcons play host to their rivals from just over the border, the Westerly Bulldogs.
Nah, Casey, it's a beautiful night for football. Is it not? 90 degrees out here. 86, I think, right around kickoff time. And it's good to be back with you, my friend, on a Friday night here at Fitch High School.
Gotta like those Friday night lights. I'll tell you right now that Fitch High School in their home black uniforms might be rethinking that with the sun beating down on them for another half an hour. But, you know, Sports Doctor, what a great matchup we have here right off the bat in Week 1. Two coaches who have been doing this for 14 consecutive years, but now both at relatively new positions at their schools.
Yeah, and Coach Mike Ellis, second year here at Fitch, Casey, and Dwayne Miranda going across the border. He is coaching over at Westerly High School, his first year with the team.
You know, Dwayne has made his way across Connecticut, starting, of course, at St. Bernard's High School, then moving to Colchester in the Bacon Academy Bobcats, and eventually moving over to New London High School. And then after a very disappointing 2-win season at New London, he resigned the position, but seems to have found a home over in Westerly.
Yeah, and that's the common theme over there. The kids love him. He's really taken into the community a little bit, the school, the families, the town. Westerly right now is on the up and ups as far as football goes, and they got a great guy in Dwayne Miranda to lead them. Yeah,
Dwayne's a high quality individual, which is the best part about him. He really cares about kids and the jobs that he does. See the captains of both teams heading on the field for Westerly. The captains are Josh Gwidgen, Ethan Holloway, Seth Rodine, and Matthew Kapfer. And if you want to know anything about Matthew Kapfer and his mom, watch the feature on theday.com or go to Facebook to Game Day Connecticut Sports. She makes a mean meatball. She is a first-generation Italian here on the United States.
We got to bring her in the booth, Case. We got to have her in the booth.
We should have had her cater this thing.
Yeah,
I hadn't even thought of that. For the Falcons, you had Isaiah Sebastian down there on the field, along with Chris Hodgkinson, one of the big offensive linemen of the Falcons. And we are almost ready to get underway with Week 1 of Game Day. We've got a full Game Day schedule to present to you this year. And, you know, this one's going to be very interesting, Sports Doctor. Two teams who might be awful matchups for each other.
Yeah, both like to run the football a lot. Both are still trying to guess what they got on defense a little bit. Wesley's going to run a single wing on offense, trying to pound the ball down Fitch's throat. You know, Fitch is going to run the option. And listen, this is a big-time matchup here in Week 1, Casey. Like I said, two different teams, two similar styles.
Well, this next, we're going to take a moment to honor America with the national anthem on, of course, the anniversary September 11th weekend here at Fitch High School. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
National anthem brought to you by your Fitch High School marching band. The Fitch Falcons last year, Casey, 5-5, looking to build upon the success under second-year coach Mike Ellis from last season and keep things going. Westerly comes in here with head coach Dwayne Miranda, his first year with the program. Both teams trying to establish some sort of identity on the field here early in the season and see what they're made of. It's a long season, Casey, 10 weeks in, but both teams trying to get their feet wet a little bit. Fitch will be wearing the black-on-black uniforms with the red numbers, which I know you love to call. Westerly, the white with the 5, with the dark numbers, and Fitch will be kicking off, going left to right on tonight's game. And Casey O'Neill, here we go. It's Friday Night Lights. It's game day, and we're back at it.
Yeah, we are ready to go. It is hot. It is humid. And as the junior voice of Game Day points out, the team who remains the coolest tonight, both literally and metaphysically, will be the team that comes on top tonight. So in other words, your best conditioned team and the team that keeps its cool will do the best tonight. So Fitch is going to kick off from their own 40, going left to right on your radio dial, back deep for Westerly. Jalen Valentine is one of the deep backs, along with John Brutcher.
Fitch. Got a few new words for you this year, too, Casey. We're going to have a little fun with this.
Always look forward to the Sniglets coming my way. The sports doctor Sniglets, we call them Stiglets. It's the sports doctor's own version of the English language. So the Falcons going to kick off from their own 40. Tyler Nelly, who you will see at quarterback today as well. He is a sophomore. Will kick off for the Falcons. Approaching the ball, and a high short kick that comes down at around the 15-yard line, taken there by Brutcher, and he is wrestled to the ground after a minimal gain, where Westerly will set up shop for its first offensive possession, 1st and 10 from its own 27-yard line.
Yeah, single wing formation. That's what Westerly is going to throw at you a little bit, and their strength is their offensive line. Coach Miranda talks about off-season conditioning in the weight room and feels that it is this team's strong point this year, Casey, and we'll find out early.
Well, you want to know how many Terra Novas it takes to score a touchdown? We're going to find out, because Westerly brings 3 of them out there, led by Ben Terranova, the quarterback, who does not line up under center. It's actually 3 essential running backs with a direct snap. Direct snap this time goes to Jalen Valentine off the right end. He gets the corner and gets a nice gain of 8 yards around the right end on 1st down. The Westerly offense lines up 3 players in the backfield, so you can designate them quarterback, running back, fullback, but they are in fact 3 backs, and the direct snap that time went directly to Valentine.
Yeah, and number 34 is actually the up man, the fullback, and he lines up off center. He's the one that's calling the plays, and he's the one that's calling the signals. A very, very different style of offense. Very unconventional, Casey.
Terranova, Valentine, and Holloway are the backs. Direct snap will come again to Valentine. Cuts it inside. Awaiting there is the heart of the Falcon defense, and he'll be stopped for a minimal gain there. Gain for about 1. It'll bring up our first 3rd down of the game. 3rd and maybe a long 2, we'll say. Ball marked at the 38-yard line.
Nice job by that Fitch defensive line, Casey. They're going to show 8 men in the box here early versus this running attack of Westerly.
Fitch, always known for undersized and quick linemen, like to run a lot of stunts, like to run a lot of movement along their line.
10 guys at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 2. Back is Valentine. Direct snap it goes. This time he cuts it back inside. He's got a seam, gets to the outside, breaks a tackle right at the 1st down marker. It's all going to be about the spot. A lot of work that time by Jalen Valentine to try to get the 1st down, and he will have it. They're going to mark it right at the 40-yard line. That'll be the first down of the game for Westerly.
Yeah, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. That's the game plan here early for Westerly. Valentine doing work and picking up just enough to get the 1st down. And again, Fitch with, it looks like 10 guys, Casey, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. 10 men in the box.
Valentine, Terranova, and Holloway in the backfield. Direct snap to Valentine. Goes again for the right end. Being chased in the outside. Gets the corner. Gets a block. But won't make it back to the line of scrimmage. Long run that time by Jalen Valentine, going from the far hash to the other side of the field, but didn't even make it back to the line of scrimmage. Chased down that time by Mojica of the Falcons.
4 plays on this drive. All 4 of them have been runs, and they've been side-to-side runs. We haven't seen anything yet up the gut by this Westerly Bulldog running attack.
Yeah, great job of pursuit that time by Daniel Mojica. He went all the way from his interior line position to chase Valentine down. Now, Westerly has the ball 2nd and 11 from their side of the field on the right hash, going right to left in the white uniforms. Direct snap this time goes up the middle to Terranova, and he's going to get about 4 yards, and that'll bring up a long 3rd down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and you know what Westerly likes to do here in these type of situations, I've seen him in the scrimmages this year against Waterford, is sneak the tight end out, have him run down the seam, and catch the defense napping a little bit. 3rd and 7 might be a good time for it, Case.
They're going to see what they want to do here. They're going to have Terra Nova and Valentine and Holloway in the backfield. Terra Nova is to the right, then Holloway, and then Valentine to the far left. Motion man faked a reverse and an inside straight up the middle run by Ethan Holloway, and that is going to be well short of the first down, maybe a gain of 3. It's going to bring up 4th and 6, and the Fitch Falcon defense holds. Westerly will have to punt it away as the ball is marked at their own 46-yard line.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Mike Ellis last night, and one of the things that he stressed on was assignment football in our defense. Don't be overzealous, don't over-pursue, stay your lanes, and in that possession, Fitch Falcons, mission accomplished on defense.
Another sophomore, Cole Riley, standing back at his own 30. He will punt to Tony Figueroa. Low end-over-end kick, bounces at the 25-yard line, and picked up by Figueroa, and he gets it back to about the 28-yard line. Tony Figueroa, the junior Falcon, took the ball on one hop and got it up to about the 30, and that's where the Falcons will have their first possession, 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. 8:38 remaining here in the first period. No score between the Fitch Falcons and the Westerly Bulldogs. Here listening to Game Day, live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill and the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, junior voice of Game Day to my left, Stat Guru 2.0 to my right.
Oh, we're going to have a little fun with him this year, too. He's a Boston College football fan.
Under center for the first snap of the year is Tyler Nelly of the Falcons. In motion, fakes the handoff. On the option, it goes to Cleon McClish. McClish has a seam. McClish is to the outside. It's a foot race, and he's going to get dragged out of bounds by Ryan Holloway of the Bulldogs all the way on the other side of midfield. Talk to us about what Coach Miranda said about Westerly's new defense and the assignment football.
Yeah, I mean, just getting back to the basics, holding your lanes, not being overzealous, I guess I would say, what Dwayne had said. Get back to basics, tackling, assignment football, and that time right there, Fitch, popped off a 30-yard run in their first play.
He said that they had to rebuild their defense from scratch, and you see it right there. The speed of the Falcons was very concerning to Coach Miranda. In motion, Sebastian. And it's a bad pitch, but Sebastian picks it up on a bounce, breaks a tackle on the outside. He has the sideline. Down the sideline goes Sebastian, breaks another tackle, and he's all the way inside the 10-yard line. Broken play that time. Nelly with not a very good left-handed pitch. It bounced on the turf, but Isaiah Sebastian not only astutely picked it up, but had a whole lot of room down the sideline with blockers, and on 2 plays, Fitch is inside the 10.
Yeah, and speed kills, and speed is killing early. I mean, 2 huge runs that time by Fitch Falcons running backs, and off a busted play, too, Casey.
Fitch sends 2 out to the right. In motion will come McClish. Pitch to McClish off the right end. McClish has a seam, cuts it to the outside. He's going to get to the corner, and we have our first touchdown of the season. Cleon McClish from 10 yards puts the Falcons up 6-0.
72 yards in 3 plays for the Fitch Falcon offense that time. Pay dirt for Cleon McClish. He did most of the work on that drive. 2 carries for 40 yards for young Cleon McClish.
And on only 3 plays after Westerly looked to ground and pound and 3 yards and some dust, in only 3 plays, the Falcons go right down the field, and what a great start for head coach Mike Ellis here to start the season. The offense looking absolutely electric with playmakers on both outsides. Low snap, kick is up and good. Tyler Nelly bangs it through, and it's now 7-0. Fitch Falcons with 8:07 remaining here in the first period. L&M, Lawrence Memorial Hospital, they offer walk-in access and extended hours at its medical group's primary care practices in Stonington, New London, Waterford, and Mystic. 4 convenient locations, no appointment needed. Visit lmwalkincare.org. That's lmwalkincare.org. MJ Sullivan is a proud sponsor of Game Day, and we're proud to have you, MJ. The clock is ticking on a 72-hour sale. 0% APR for 72 months on a 2016 Chevy models, all of them. Get up to 20% cash back. MJ Sullivan on the corner of Broad and Coleman Street in New London, or you can visit them at mjsullivanauto.com.
Yeah, a lot of teaching, a lot of coaching, a lot of, helmet patting going on that Westerly sideline, and that's what we talked about, too. The revamping, the retooling of the defense. Coach Miranda over there telling his guys, stick with it, let's readjust, and let's move on. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, we saw both coaches very nervous about some of the things the other team could do. And
yeah, it wasn't so much about what their teams were going to be able to do. It's about what the other. You're right.
Yeah, he was really worried. Coach Miranda was really worried about his defense and how they would handle the athletes of Fitch when they're faced with assignment football. And on 3 plays, the Falcons had absolutely no problem. Huge holes. And Fitch, with its dominant offensive line, Coach Ellis said Kevin Berardi and Aiden Green and Kyle Nidry, Ryan Kohler, Chris Hodkinson, aside from being all brilliant, all smarter than us, they were the return starters that needed to carry the team, and they did.
Yeah.
On the other side of things, Coach Ellis was concerned about how they handled Stonington's double wing.
Bad week last week, yeah.
But obviously, he said they were hoping they learned from it. Maybe they have. Nelly with a long end-over-end kick. It's going to come down and bounce at the 10-yard lines where it goes off the hands of Valentine and out of bounds. Valentine tried to run up and catch it on the move, but it went off his hands, and not the way the Bulldogs want to start. They will be backed up inside their own 20 at about the 17-yard line.
Yeah, important here for Westerly to stick with their stuff that works on offense and make positive plays. I mean, when you're working with a team that's a ground and pound team, Casey, it's kind of deflating when another team goes 72 yards in 3 plays.
Yeah, they have to come up with a way to have an offense that they can't do anything on 3rd and long,
right,
because they're not a team that throws the ball. They don't even have a quarterback under center. They have Terranova, Holloway, and Valentine all lined up, along with Cole Riley on one of the split end positions. Direct snap, low direct snap on the turf, and it's going to be picked up by Holloway, but he's got nowhere to go. He's going to be hit almost immediately by the center of the Fitch line, Fresco Stevenson, in first hit there, and the wrong way, a loss of 5, 2nd and 15 for Westerly.
Yeah, 10 men in the box for the Fitch Falcons on defense, and every single one of them have their ears pinned back at this point.
Hopefully, as the sun goes down, I'll be able to recognize what the numbers on those Falcons jerseys are. Coach Ellis, when you hear this, please, please, please get new jerseys. Said it last year, saying it again. 2nd and 15 for Westerly, inside their own 10. Direct snap to Valentine. Looks to hand it on a little inside reverse, and he does. It goes to Ryan Holloway on an inside reverse from Valentine to Holloway, and that'll get them back to just about the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 11 from the 18-yard line. 7-11 remaining here in period number 1. 7-0 Falcons.
Tough down and distance here, 3rd and 11 for a team that runs the single wing and does not pass an awful lot.
We have not seen them throw the ball yet. They will have Terranova, Holloway, and Valentine again in the backfield. See what Westerly wants to do on 3rd and 10 from deep in their own territory. Falcons thinking run. Direct snap. Valentine throws over the middle of the field into triple coverage. No good. He was looking for Cole Riley. Nice arm that time by Jalen Valentine, but for the Falcons defended it very well, and there was 3 men surrounding Riley.
Yeah, not a lot of time that time for Westerly to complete that pass through. The Fitch defensive line has established themselves here early as a presence in this ballgame.
Yeah, the Falcons are bigger, stronger, and faster right now, and that is a bad combination if you are Westerly. Connor Swain into the game, number 10, to punt for Westerly, and he is standing back near his own goal line. Gets it off. High spiraling kick taken at midfield, where the fair catch is made by Tony Figueroa of the Falcons, and Fitch will have its second possession in great field position right on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, starting to cool down a little bit in this hot night. The sun is going down. If you've got no rag in the studio either, no sweat brow or anything like that, you got your hat on?
I'm looking
you look really mid-season form, huh?
Well, you know what it is? Casey and the sports doctor got me accustomed to all those hot lights, so I'm feeling pretty good right now. And if folks out there, you're listening, if you haven't gone on Facebook to Game Day Connecticut Sports, you should do that right now. That's Game Day Connecticut Sports. Like that page, and you will have access to all kinds of great high school sports videos and features. You'll be able to see interviews with 8 of the ECC head football coaches, all of the quarterbacks from the passing league, a bunch of the Casey and the Sports Doctor segments featuring doctor's notes and the voice of reason, and lots of other great stuff, including an interview with NBA guard Chris Dunn, all available on Game Day Connecticut Sports or on theday.com Game Day. First down, Falcons from the 50-yard line, 7-0 Falcons lead with the ball, 6:38 remaining here in the first. Nelly pitches out. It goes to McClish. McClish trying to get to the corner. McClish gets to the corner, breaks a tackle, has a first down. Cleon McClish doing work here in the early going, gets the ball all the way to, looks to be the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 Falcons, another 15-yard gain by McClish.
60 yards and some quick feet down by the sideline, staying in bounds by Cleon McClish to pick up an extra 7 yards. And this offensive line is doing its job, which is going to force Dwayne Miranda to call an early timeout and regroup a little bit over there for the Westerly Bulldogs. Casey has a full slate of games tonight around the league as well. All teams kicking things into gear. Montville travels up to Griswold, New London at East Lyme, Stonington at Plainfield, Wyndham at Waterford, Ellington at Valley Old Lyme, Westerly here at Fitch, Ledyard with brand new head coach Mark Farnsworth going up to Cranston East, and NFA up in Middletown to take on number 10 Xavier. I'll bring you scores a little later on. Busy night around the state. Casey O'Neill.
The games everyone is curious about are in order. Everyone's curious about NFA because they want to see how they match up with that Xavier team. Everyone's going to be paying attention to Ledyard because they're going to want to see how do they open the Farnsworth era at Ledyard without Jim Bunicor. And, of course, everyone's tuning into that New London East Lyme game. The fact that either East Lyme or New London is going to start the season 0-1 is a damaging thing for two teams that are really looking to try to make a step forward.
Yeah, big expectations this year, especially for that group down at New London.
I'd like to give speaking of classy, Juan Roman is doing everything right at New London. We'll talk a little bit about him as a class act, and then I got one more for you after this play. Tyler Nelly on 1st and 10, under center, in motion, goes Sebastian, handoff. No, he fakes it, and Nelly keeps it himself. And I'm going to drop it for the first time. You know, when the sun was here and he was under center, with Nelly, it was getting hot in here. Thank you very much for
I really listen.
The Nelly fans out there. You're too busy listening to Slayer, so you don't know anything about Nelly.
No, I don't know it.
So we got speaking of class act, we got a text this morning. I just want to send a shout out to the former Ledyard football coach, Jim Bunicor, who is an absolute class act. Send us one of the nicest texts that we have gotten in a long time. Wishing the game day crew luck here in the early going. Thanking us for all we do for Southeastern Connecticut football. I could say the same thing for you, Coach Bunicor. Handoff goes straight up the middle. That looks like Hollis Scott, who's going to be up close to a first down marker. Scott, the big back for the Falcons. He is a junior, and he's going to be right up to the first down marker, and we're going to see where they mark it, maybe a yard shy of the first down.
Power football that time by the Fitch Falcons. A flag on the play. It's probably roughing the passer, and it is. I'm 1 for 1.
Attaboy, Sports Doctor. You know, Juan Roman is taking over down there in New London, Sports Doctor. We've talked about some of the great decisions he's made. He said, and I love the feature that you did with him, and if you haven't seen it, folks, you really should. He wants to be the bridge between the new young players that are helping the coach and the old veterans that have been there a long time. Well, one of those old veterans is Bob Nenna Sr., the father of Bob Nenna, great New London high school basketball and baseball player. Bob Nenna Sr. passed away in the offseason, and the New London high school team is honoring them with his name on their helmets this year. I thought that was a very classy act by Juan Roman. In motion, and the pitch goes to Sebastian, and Sebastian gets out for the first down off a left tackle, and a little bit more into the second level goes Isaiah Sebastian all the way down inside the 5, and it's going to be 1st and goal for the Falcons. Knocking on the door again with 5:26 remaining and a 7-0 lead.
120 yards total offense for the Fitch Falcons so far, and all on the ground, Casey, and they are just relying on the offensive line and their speed on the outside to make plays.
7-0 Falcons. 5:10 remaining here in period number 1.
Some love out there, huh?
Everyone knows the Sports Doctor, the eye candy of the game day team. Nelly under center in motion. Handoff goes straight up the middle to Scott. And it looks like we're going to get the official signal. Touchdown Falcons. 2-yard burst by the Falcons, and it's going to be a quick 13-0 lead. Fitch on top now with 5 minutes remaining. That run was by Isaiah Sebastian, number 2 of the Falcons, for a 2-yard run, 13-0 with 4:55 remaining.
Fitch Falcons doing what they do best, Casey. They're running the football, and so far very, very effectively. Have not attempted to pass yet today. They've got 123 yards of total offense.
13-0 Falcons. Nelly comes in for the extra point out of the hold of Figueroa. Snap good, hold good, kick is up, and it is through. And with 4:55 remaining in the first period, the Falcons on top 14-0.
It's almost too easy right now for Fitch. I mean, Dwayne Miranda, again, urging his defensive unit over on the sidelines, coaching him, telling him to be patient, but it's almost too easy. Big play and a busted play, speed on the outside. Right now, Westerly is going to have to find a way to, generate some offense and keep that Fitch offense off their field. Their best defense may be their offense.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
The Bulldogs aren't fooling Fitch on the offensive side of things. Both lines of the Falcons are controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Defensively, the Falcons are just getting so much of a push that Westerly can't really do anything with its misdirection on the running game. And on the other side of things, on the offensive side of things, Fitch's offensive line is just giving the Falcons running backs entirely too much room. They're 5-6 yards into the secondary before they're getting hit.
Yeah, and they want their backs in open space. They want their backs, where they can make plays in the open field, and so far they've done all of that.
Brutcher and Valentine back deep for Westerly, awaiting the kick of Nelly. Ball spotted at the 45-yard line, where Nelly will kick off for the Falcons, up 14-0 here in the first period of our inaugural game this year on game day. Casey O'Neill, along with the sports doctor Keith O'Brien, Stat Guru 2.0. If you want to know who he is, well, you're going to have to come to a game and check him out for yourself. We do not reveal the identity of Stat Guru 2.0.
The Bachelor as well.
Nelly with a high end-over-end kick taken by Valentine at his own 5-yard line. He heads straight up the field, looks for a seam. Valentine's got a seam. He's got to the outside, got one man to beat, gets on his feet to the 50-yard line, and finally wrestled out of bounds at the 50-yard line by the kicker Nelly. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for. Westerly has the ball in Falcon territory for the first time on a 47-yard return by Jalen Valentine.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Casey. Just what the doctor ordered. A big play for Westerly. Flipping field position. Maybe get this offense running downhill a little bit, Case.
First time that Westerly has had the ball anywhere near the middle of the field. Now let's see what they can do with it. 1st and 10 from the Falcon 49-yard line. Terranova, Holloway, and Valentine remain the three backs in the backfield for Westerly. Straight snap to Valentine off the left end. Valentine into the secondary, and a nice run by Jalen Valentine to the 40-yard line. 9 yards on first down. Just what Westerly wants, short and a manageable half yard.
Yeah, quick feet in the hole that time by Valentine, and stuck his head down and got the extra 4 yards by just bowling his way through the Fitch defense. Great positive play that time by Westerly.
Only a sophomore, Jalen Valentine. I can see why Coach Miranda likes the future there.
Handles the ball an awful lot.
Yes, he does. And the sophomore on the other side of things for the Falcons in Tyler Nelly. A lot of sophomores here at the skill positions tonight. Direct snap to Valentine, this time going off right end, cuts it back up the middle, still on his feet, gets into the secondary, finally wrestled out of bounds at the 25-yard line. In the Fitch secondary, saving a touchdown that time was Fresco Stevenson, but a big run by Jalen Valentine.
Valentine, 36 yards on the ground for him, and a nice job that time by the Westerly offensive line, moving bodies up front and creating some space for him, Casey. Great run that time by Westerly.
Timeout on the field with 4:04 remaining in the first quarter, 14-0.
Yeah.
Falcons on top, but the Westerly Bulldogs are driving with their first sort of sense of identity here after a big kick return by Jalen Valentine. Back-to-back runs by Valentine has put the ball all the way down to the 27-yard line of Fitch. So basically, 73 yards of field position accumulated by Jalen Valentine on 3 plays.
Yeah, he's done a real nice job. And on the flip side, you see automatically right from the get-go, Coach Mike Ellis calling timeout, talking to his players. I mean, he's got 10 men in the box, re-going over the assignments and making sure everybody's on the same page. And these are all the things the coaches have been worried about, Casey, leading up into week 1 tonight.
1st and 10 Westerly. 4:04 remaining in the first period. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. Remember, tune in Tuesday for Wired Zone, where the great Peter Wappy will put it all together and make it look like an NFL Films style package. Love that Wired Zone on Tuesday on theday.com. 1st and 10 Westerly from the Fitch 27. Little reverse. Trying to get to the outside is John Brutcher, but nothing there. Valentine flipped it on a little reverse to Brutcher, but he was hit almost immediately by Namoni McClellan and number 22, Hollis Scott.
Yeah, great job that time by the Fitch defensive end, holding their lanes and not being fooled by the inside reverse that time, Casey. Very good job.
Hollis Scott's got some really good size out there. Fullback, linebacker. He's a playmaker.
They look
only
good.
A junior. The Falcons are young. Outside of that offensive line and all the skilled position players, the Falcons are young. 2nd and 9, Westerly. Straight snap this time goes to Valentine. Valentine heads off of right tackle. Now tries to break it. Ball on the turf. It's going to be picked up by the Falcons. Falcons recover the fumble, and Valentine put the ball on the turf. He makes the tackle. But a recovery, McClish has it, and the Falcons are back in business.
Drive killer that time for the Westerly Bulldogs. Valentine did everything on that drive and just coughed it up right there. That's a tough one. I mean, Westerly had something moving in the right direction. They were running the ball downhill, and I hope Valentine keeps his head up because he's going to be called upon to make more plays in this ball game.
Falcons will have it at their own 35. Isaiah Sebastian on the fumble recovery from Jalen Valentine. And Falcons have had no trouble moving the ball. Let's see what Tyler Nelly has for him this time. Westerly jumps, and we're going to get a flag. Looks like we're going to get offsides against Westerly, and that's going to give it a 1st and 5 for the Falcons.
Second penalty of the night by the Bulldogs. 2 penalties for 15 yards. Very clean game thus far.
I should mention that if you look down on the Falcons' sideline, or now on the field, there's a familiar number 13 out there, and his last name is Letelier. No, not Luke Letelier, who I managed to call Luke Letelier for the better part of half the season last year, but his brother, Zach Letelier, and who I am going to say, the little Letelier. Zach Letelier.
They love you for it, Case.
He's a good kid. The Letelier family is fantastic. Ball on the turf again, this time by the Falcons. And they're going to retain possession of the football. Actually, it was just Nelly. It wasn't the ball on the turf. Nelly just took it out of the stomach of Hollis Scott, kept it himself, but no gain there, so it'll be a 2nd and 5. The interior of the Westerly line was not fooled. 2nd and 5, ball at the Falcon 40. We're down under 3 minutes. Out wide for Fitch. One split wide, and we're going to have McClish and Sebastian now, and we have Scott in the backfield. In motion, McClish. Handoff goes straight up the middle to Scott, and Scott's going to have a 1st down off a right tackle. Hollis Scott, a very physical runner, punishing runner, get into the Westerly secondary. 1st down, Falcons. They're almost to midfield at their own 48-yard line.
Little trap draw that time almost, Casey, with the fullback. Scott put his head down, got behind his offensive lineman, and got 7 yards the hard way.
We're going to have
flag.
Looks like an illegal shift on the Falcons, and they're going to move that one back. So illegal shift on the Falcons will bring that one back. It'll be back to the original 2nd and 5 with the ball on the 40-yard line. So it's almost like that play didn't happen.
That's exactly what it is.
So they're going to back it up to the 35-yard line, actually. So now it'll be 2nd and 10. It was 2nd and 5. Now it'll be 2nd and 10. The illegal shift is a pre-snap penalty, so that'll back it up. 2nd and 10 Falcons, ball at their own 35-yard line. Did you get a chance to watch the opening of the NFL last night, Sports?
I was in bed early, but yeah, I watched some of it. I'll talk to you about that after.
Letelier goes wide left under center, and we're going to get a timeout on the field. A timeout called by Falcons. Fitch will call a timeout. Under early, 2 minutes, yeah. 1:58 remaining. The Falcons have a big 2nd and 10 from their own 35-yard line. What were your early impressions of last night's Broncos and Carolina Panthers game?
I'm still very impressed with Denver's defense. They're extremely good. They made the halftime adjustments that they needed to make. And I guess I'm not really that down on Cam Newton, but I mean, you got to find a way to win that ball game if you're Carolina. They lost to the Super Bowl last year. They kind of got embarrassed and beat up a little bit. And I just thought that they should have won that game last night.
Yeah, I think that Graham Gano makes that kick an awful lot. But what I came away with last night was 2 things. One is that Trevor Siemian played.
He wasn't
just
great.
like they remember Denver had the worst quarterback in the NFL last year, and they won the Super Bowl with him.
Right.
And what we were curious about was someone who was capable of making more plays, but also capable of making more mistakes.
Right.
What's the better option? And I think we saw last night, it's a little bit of both. He can make throws that Peyton Manning could, but he also turned the ball over a couple times, which Manning wouldn't have done.
You think Rivera was outcoached a little bit last night in the second half again?
Yes.
Okay.
I also think that Cam Newton got hit with which should have been about 5 penalties that weren't called.
Oh, stop.
Roll left goes Nelly, and he is sacked almost immediately in on the play. Junie Rios of Westerly straight into the backfield, and Rios with a sack 7 yards deep, never got let never let Nelly get to the corner, and a great play by Westerly, and Fitch is going in the wrong direction here now. 3rd and 15 from the 30-yard line.
Yeah, run blitz that time by Rio at his from his linebacker position, shooting the gap on D and stopping that play before it had a chance to materialize. Obviously some adjustments made by Coach Miranda on that defensive end.
3rd and 15, ball at the 30. Nelly under center with Scott as his lone setback. In motion. And the handoff now is faked, and Nelly will keep it. Nothing there. Westerly not fooled at all, and a quick brought down that time. Ethan Holloway on the tackle.
Flag.
Another loss and another flag.
That will probably be another legal shift at that time by the Falcons.
Fitch going backwards right now. They might be best served to just get rid of this football and go back and play defense. We'll see what the officials want to say. It's a legal procedure penalty that time against the Falcons, and it will be declined by Westerly, which will bring up a 4th and a country mile from the 30-yard line. The Falcons will punt.
Yeah, great stand that time by the Westerly defense, picking up the offense a little bit off the fumble, off the turnover. Did not hurt them, and they'll get the ball back here, Casey, in pretty good field position, and have a chance to get something going.
Tyler Andrews the punt. Jalen Valentine back deep for Westerly, looking to get his hands back on the football, and he will. High kick by Andrews will bounce at the 40-yard line and take a Westerly bounce back towards midfield, where the Falcons will down it, and Westerly will have its offensive possession in great shape at its own 48-yard line with 51 seconds remaining in the first period. Sports Doctor, if you watched that game last night, you can't argue that there were at least 5 shots to the head not called, and I don't care they put a rule in. They got to call the rule. They call it against every other quarterback. And the reality was,
he carried the ball 11 times yesterday too. So he's almost like a running back at times.
Doesn't matter. They called that. That's a penalty that they decided they wanted to call, helmet-to-helmet contact.
Right.
They didn't call it, and that is they would have called it against. Yeah, listen, if Tom Brady got hit like that, they would have arrested people for assault on the field. Straight up the middle it goes for Holloway, and he's going to be up to midfield on 1st down. Check that. Just crossing midfield. They're going to mark it just shy of midfield. I thought he crossed. They're going to mark it just shy, but 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's going to be 2nd and 5 from midfield for Westerly, and we're down now under 30 seconds here in the first period. Ryan Holloway along with Terranova and Valentine. Straight snap. This time goes to Valentine. Cuts it back straight up the middle. Gets a yard, and then he is whacked by the center of the Falcon defensive line. Scott leading the charge there along with Pedro Mojica, and that's going to be the last play of the first period. At the end of period number 1, the Westerly Bulldogs are facing a 3rd and 6, and they trail the Fitch Falcons 14-0. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the Sports Doctor, Peter Wappy, and the crew up in the booth and down on the field. Of course, Mike DeMoro patrolling the sidelines, the Stat Guru 2.0, bringing you all the important stuff, and the eye candy of the Game Day team, the Sports Doctor, over to my right, all of whom making the Game Day package what it is right now.
Out-of-town scoreboard, Casey O'Neill. Killingly leads Bacon Academy 14-0. Killingly got a very good team in the ECC this year. Montville, 14-0 over Griswold. Around the state right now, and NFA, the game, I cannot get a score in the NFA game right now. I will grab one in a second. But just checking things out around the league. Killingly up 14-0, and so is Montville.
Neither a game that I have any interest in at all, but I appreciate you bringing us.
New London leads 14-6 at Eastline.
That's the first score I was looking for. Thank you very much.
Scrolling through these scores is a challenge for me.
Now here's the thing. I'm not gonna. I have to try to be an impartial guy here.
It's very hard for you. You wear the green and gold every week.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Rudy Bagos a lot.
Yes.
And I wish him nothing but the best at East Lyme. He's a quality guy. But Juan Roman is a friend. Someone who I have respected and looked up to since I was, 8 years old.
Yes.
A good friend of my family, and someone who I think is a perfect fit for the New London team. And I am a Whaler, so I would be disingenuous if I said that I wasn't incredibly passionate about wanting Juan Roman to see success with those New London kids this year. But nothing against East Lyme. Rudy Bagos is a great coach, and I wish them lots of success as well. But my heart is with the green and gold tonight out there in East Lyme. 3rd and 6, just inside of midfield. Westerly now going left to right. Direct snap. And we're going to have a first pass of the game.
Oh, he's open.
Oh, he had a man wide open.
He had 11
Josh,
wide open.
Josh Gwidgen was the guy who was trying to throw the ball, and he had Cole Riley running down the seam wide open. But he decided instead to try to throw the ball to Matt Lynch, and he threw it into his shoe tops. And that's going to bring up 4th down, and Westerly will try to pin Fitch deep.
Yeah, Riley was running right down the middle of the field, wide open. Gwidgen just checked down and went to the underneath man, and the ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage. That play was there, Case.
That's one of those file that away for the second half. You'll see that play again. Tony Figueroa stands at his own 15-yard line, awaiting the kick of Connor Swain. Swain stands at his own 40. Swain, high, spiraling kick, fair catch made by Figueroa at the 25-yard line, and the Falcons will have a possession. 11:50 remaining here in the first half. 14-0. Falcons on top.
Yeah, this game has settled in a little bit. I mean, Fitch made some big plays early, but Westerly seemed to tighten things down here on D a little bit in the last couple possessions, and we're settling into a football game, and got a good feel to it right now, Casey. The sun has gone down for you. It's not as hot. It feels like fall.
It does feel like fall. Not quite yet. But this is why we went to Friday nights. Can you imagine doing this game at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon? That'd be a little hot.
Of course.
That's the old days. The old days. Yeah, they do that. That's because they're the cadets. Handoff straight up the middle to Hollis Scott. Hollis Scott breaks the tackle. Hollis Scott is in the open. Hollis Scott crosses the 50. He's at the 40. Hollis Scott at the 30. Down the sidelines at 20. 1 man to beat. 10, 5. Touchdown, Hollis Scott.
Home run hitting, Hollis Scott. Deep center field and then some. The big play ability by the Fitch Falcons shown in full bore right there. Hollis Scott with a 77-yard touchdown run. The second of the game, Casey O'Neill.
Hollis Scott, the junior linebacker running back, 5'10", 175 pounds. And if you wondered if he could run, man, he took off down that sideline. I thought he was going to get caught 2 different times. Westerly guys had angles, and Scott said none of this. 77 yards, 20-0 Falcons.
Little high stepping and tippy-toeing down for the last 10 yards to go to pay dirt.
Nelly comes in for the extra point, and it is good. 21-0 Falcons.
All 12 Fitch offensive plays tonight, Casey, have been on the ground, rushing attack.
And right now, Coach Mike Ellis has to be thrilled with how his offense looks under the young sophomore guidance of Tyler Nelly. Now, we talked to Coach Ellis, and he said that Tyler Nelly was going to get the majority of the snaps. The sophomore, he said, was very, very consistent, made good decisions, and you can see you have to make a lot of decisions as the quarterback for the Falcons. He said we were also going to see Hamir Stevens, also a sophomore, who's a great athlete, said one of the best athletes at the school. They'll put him in the shotgun. And I think this 21-0 lead is going to allow Coach Ellis to get Stevens some reps and get him into the game as well, which is a perfect situation.
Yeah, and get him some looks. And what Coach Mike Ellis talked about last night, too, was trust. We got to be able to trust these young quarterbacks. And so far, Nelly has earned the trust not only of his coaching staff, but his teammates as well. He's done very well at the quarterback position tonight.
Yeah, he made one mistake, made a bad left-handed pitch.
And he got a positive out of it.
Isaiah Sebastian picked it up and turned it into a 30-yard gain. So not what the doctor ordered, sports doctor, for Dwayne Miranda. Feeling a little bit like deja vu all over again. Went across the border from New London to Westerly, but the result so far is about the same, 21-0. The Fitch Falcons are just thumping the Westerly Bulldogs right now with 11:35 remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, it's the big plays, Casey. Westerly had settled in the last 2 times on defense, and boom, the home run hitting ability that time by the Fitch Falcons and Scott. And, that's the kind of stuff you got to try to avoid.
Falcons will kick off Nelly from their own 40-yard line. Valentine and Brutcher back deep for Westerly. 11:35. Well, Coach Miranda did say they are a football town, so resilient they are. The ball is a squib kick, and it will be followed by Cole Riley at his own 30-yard line. Fitch did a squib kick right up the middle. Ball was bouncing on the turf, and Riley, rather than risking a broken run back, just fell on the ball at his own 30-yard line. 1st and 10 Westerly at their own 30.
Fitch coach Mike Ellis talked last night about, his team is a little bit better than where they were last year. I mean, obviously 2 years ago they didn't win a game. Last year they finished 5-5, but he wasn't quite sure what they had. Obviously, it's because of quarterback position, a tough scrimmage last week against Stonington. Well, I think Coach Mike Ellis is getting in some answers early here tonight.
Westerly comes out, ball at the 30, 1st and 10. Waiting to see, direct snap. Around end and down to the ground goes Holloway. Couldn't spin out and make something happen.
Ball came out.
Ball came out. I think they're going to say he was down on the ground, though. Yeah, they are. They're going to say point to the ground. He was down. Maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Westerly Bulldogs.
You know, Westerly's going to have to be patient here and make some plays on the offensive end and stick to their stuff and, just start getting some positive things happening their way.
They're going to say that he lost 2. It'll bring up 2nd and 12. Ball back to the 28-yard line of Westerly. Valentine, along with Terranova and Holloway in the backfield. Snap this time to Holloway. Tries to get off the left end. Gets a block. Cuts it back inside. Positive yards. And a little tough running at the end goes Jalen Valentine. He'll get back to the 37-yard line. Is going to bring up a manageable 3rd down now. 3rd and about 3.
48 yards on the ground tonight for Valentine. He's a tough kid, too. You can tell he wants to make amends for his fumble earlier in the game. And he's a kid. He got no quit in him. He's going to put his head down, and get those last 3 or 4 tough yards.
Holloway, Junie Rios. I like that name, the junior running back in the backfield as well with Valentine for Westerly on a 3rd and 2. Trying to get the Falcons to jump, and we're going to have a flag. There was movement on the offensive line. I think Westerly may have moved first. Let's see if they got Fitch to jump or if they're going to say that Westerly drew them offsides.
I will say offsides.
Official's hand is in the air, and it is going to be a false start against Westerly.
Wrong. I was wrong.
Well, you're 1-1 now.
That's a tough penalty right there. Down in distance, 3rd and 1 versus 3rd and a long 6, maybe 7 yards.
Yeah, I think they were in really good shape, and I think the strategy to try to draw Fitch off. Now, I'm not a coach.
Yeah, it didn't work.
But you just had a couple of positive plays in a row. Run it again, and earn the 1st down. Lining up and trying to draw them off sides is a momentum killer. 3rd and 7 for Westerly. Ball at their 32-yard line. Rios, Valentine. Straight trap goes. Rios will keep it straight up the middle, and the Falcons are not fooled, and bodies flying to the football. Coach Ellis loves what he sees there. Bodies flying. Kyrell Wilson in on the stop for the Falcons, but a lot of bodies to the football.
Yeah, athletic defense right now for Fitch. The linebackers making plays. The offensive line is having a hard time blocking the Fitch defensive line as well. So tough sledding here for the Westerly Bulldogs tonight.
And back to punt Cole Riley. He'll stand at his own 20-yard line. Tony Figueroa at his own 30, awaiting the punt. Snap is high, but handled by Riley. A low spiraling kick will bounce at the Fitch 35-yard line and roll all the way down to the 22-yard line, where it'll be downed by Westerly. So with 8:36 remaining here in the first half, and the Falcons on top 21-0, the Westerly Bulldogs will have possession of the football 1st and 10 from their own 22. Of course, in the Major League Baseball world tonight, big series in Toronto.
Probably the biggest game of the year for the Red Sox, Casey?
At this point, it is, but I would suggest it's the biggest series in Toronto in maybe over a decade.
Rick Porcello going to get some Cy Young talk if he wins tonight's game?
20th win if he wins tonight, and has pitched probably as well as anybody up till now. Red Sox got a little mojo going right now off of playing some soft West Coast teams. Let's see how they do against the Blue Jays, who were just swept by the Yankees. On the roll, and a throw, and a drop, and a flag. So a little bit of everything that time. We had a rollout to the right by Nelly, a throw that tried to get to Sebastian. It was dropped, then we had a flag, and we will see what the call was.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Stop, drop, and flag. We'll see what the officials mark that one as.
First pass attempt tonight for the Fitch Falcons.
And maybe not, because if the penalty might not even be play. We'll have to see if it actually counts. We're going to get it looks like an ineligible man downfield against the Falcons, which is weird considering it was a designed rollout pass play. One of those big offensive linemen must have snuck downfield a little bit, which makes me wonder what was the play designed to be if you had a lineman sneaking downfield. Was that meant to be a screen? And
I don't know.
play,
It looked like a direct rollout to me.
You know, if I'm an offensive lineman, someone got the signals crossed because they shouldn't have been doing that.
Sprint rollout. Maybe the lineman thought it was a run sweep by the quarterback, Nelly.
That's possible. Maybe he thought that he was going to keep it and not throw it. Definitely a possibility.
Whatever happened on that play didn't work.
No, it didn't. First and 15 Falcons with the ball back now inside of their own 20-yard line, a place that Fitch has not had to do much from this year. Good news is they're so far away I can't see who anyone's numbers are. Thank you. Whoever thought the red numbers on the black uniforms was a good idea in that script that no one can see. Nelly on a quarterback keeper gets back almost to the original line of scrimmage, back up to the 21-yard line. And there's a late flag in. We're going to see there's some shenanigans going on down there. This is in the.
I was told not to use chippiness this year.
No chippiness.
Chippiness is basketball.
Yeah, chippiness is basketball. We don't like chippiness. We're going to have to come up with a new word. But this is in the area of unsportsmanlike conduct, and the officials are looking like they're going to mark it off against Westerly. So let's see what the call is. The officials are chatting with the Westerly team right now, which, again, makes me think that it's against them. So we'll see what happens. With 8:18 remaining here in the first half, 21-0 Fitch. It is a dead ball. It looks like it's against the Falcons. So everything I just said was wrong. I should just keep quiet and pipe down until I see what the official said. That's going to back the Falcons up significantly, however.
In the shadow of their own goalpost. Third offensive penalty tonight for the Falcons, that one being a dead ball penalty. Pushed them back half the distance to the goal. I'll bring up second down and about 20. If my eyes...
Nelly under center, ball right about the 10-yard line, second, and they have to get to no-ank for this first down. In motion, McClish. Fumbles on the ground, ball's on the turf, the officials are jumping in, and Westerly says they have it, and they do. The Bulldogs recover a fumble. Let's see who comes out of there with it. That's number 52, Josh Lacerte. And that'll put Westerly in scoring position at the 10.
Self-destructing offensive possession that time by the Fitch Falcons, Casey. Couple penalties and a fumble, and Westerly sets up shop first and goal from about the 9-yard line.
This is the kind of thing that really plagued Fitch last year. Mistakes late in halves, late in games. We saw Bacon Academy get back into the game with mistakes by the Falcons, and up 21-0 with a chance to, there really wasn't much of a pulse for Westerly, but this just put a little bit of energy back in Westerly. 8:02 remaining, and they're knocking on the Falcons' goal line here. First and goal from the 10.
Yeah, the only thing that's hurt Fitch so far is Fitch on that last possession.
Yeah, Falcons have done everything right, and for whatever reason, that last possession, it all went backwards. Valentine and Rios in the backfield. Direct snap, Valentine cuts it back inside, gets a block, cuts it off left tackle, down to about the 6-yard line. So positive yardage. Now, Valentine's a very disciplined runner, but from my amateur eye, it looks like if he bounces it outside, there's a lot of daylight out there.
Yeah, he keeps trying to use that cutback lane, and it's not there because the Fitch linebackers are pursuing that very well. Listen, if Valentine's going to want to punch this in, he's going to earn these 7 yards.
Second and goal, ball marked at the 6-yard line. In the backfield, Junie Rios along with Valentine. Direct snap by Westerly. Will go to Valentine again. This time he's going to pretend to throw. He's being chased. Reverses field. Gets a block. Goes to the opposite side. He's got some speed. He's got a seam. Cuts it back inside. Touchdown, Westerly. What a run by Jalen Valentine.
Hello, pay dirt for Valentine. 58 yards on the ground so far in the ball game and 6 points right there on the board for the Westerly Bulldogs. And we've seen that for the second time tonight. A busted play, Casey, turn into a big one.
I think he ran 58 yards on that play alone just to score that touchdown. Valentine took that pitch and meant to throw the football.
He did.
But it wasn't there, so he tucked it. He had no chance he was going to be down. He reversed field, picked up a great block on the backside, and went all the way across the field, Barry Sanders-esque, and was then cut it back inside. We know he's tough.
He's a tough kid, yeah. He is a tough kid, that's for sure.
Connor Swain in for the extra point for Westerly. Snaps good, holds good, kick is up, hits the upright, and is no good. So with 7:11 remaining here in the first half, Westerly is on the board. 21 for the Falcons, 6 for the Bulldogs.
Well, and there you see the mistakes that time by the Fitch Falcons costing them. A couple offensive penalties, fumble on the play, and Westerly did just what they had to do. They cashed in and got 6 points and got themselves back in the game here, feeling very good about themselves over there on the sidelines.
You know, speaking of feeling very good, if you're not feeling very good, Sports
Sure.
Doctor, L&M offers walk-in access and extended hours at its medical group's primary care practices in Stonington, New London, Waterford, and Mystic. 4 convenient locations, no appointment needed, so you can visit lmwalkincare.org. So if you're not feeling good, you go on down to L&M. But if you really want to feel good, you want to feel great, you want to feel fabulous, you know what makes you feel fabulous? A new car. So MJ Sullivan, they are a proud sponsor of Game Day, and we are always proud to have them. The clock is ticking on a 72-hour sale. 72 hours, folks, that's 3 days. For the next 3 days, you can get 0% APR for 72 months on all 2016 Chevy models, or you can get up to 20% cash back. MJ Sullivan is on the corner of Broad and Coleman Streets in New London, and you can visit them at mjsullivanauto.com. So if you're feeling good, you go get a car. If you're not feeling good, you go to L&M.
This will make you feel even better down the road in East Lyme. 20-6 right now. The New London Whalers with about 10 minutes left to go before halftime. The high-powered New London offense doing its thing.
7-11 here remaining in the first half. Westerly, after its first points of the game, will kick the ball off. Connor Swain, high end-over-end kick taken by Figueroa at his own 10-yard line. And nicely covered that time by Westerly as Figueroa gets up to the 20, and that's where Fitch will have possession, 1st and 10 from its own 20-yard line, trying to get the taste out of its mouth from that awful last possession.
Yeah, and very important for Westerly's defense to hold serve a little bit here this possession. Casey, don't want to put your team in a bad position here. Westerly's in this ball game. They're down 21-6. Get a stop here, maybe get another touchdown in before halftime. Stay away from the big play. Got to keep away from the big play.
Nelly under center. He's got Scott as his lone setback. In motion, McClish. Handoff up the middle to Scott. And the center of the Westerly line wraps him up after a gain of about 3. Tough running that time by Hollis Scott. But it's only going to be about a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, we've seen a heavy dose of Scott here in the last quarter or so. 86 yards for Scott on the ground. We had not seen McClish in the mix and some of the speed on the outside and Sebastian as well. Fitch pounding the ball up the middle.
Hollis Scott limping after that play, Sports Doctor, and they are going to take him. Looks like he's going to come out of this football game. He is going to be replaced by number 24, Tyler Andrews, but Hollis Scott limping off the field right here before halftime. And he is definitely favoring an ankle. Yep, ankle is definitely being favored. We'll see what happens. And we're going to get a timeout on the field. Looks like Fitch Falcons are going to call a timeout. And they are with 6:14 remaining, 21-6 Falcons on top. Facing a 2nd down and 6. They are going to call a timeout. They've got one more. Join us at halftime as the Sports Doctor will have the halftime show here of Game Day. Sports Doctor, what do we have to look forward to at halftime?
Now, we'll have Mike tomorrow chime in at halftime. We'll make a house call up here with the Sports Doctor. And new Fitch basketball coach Charles Sylvan, first year on the job. We're going to take over the Fitch Falcons basketball team. He will pop in for a few minutes as well, and we'll spend a little time talking Fitch basketball.
Now, is there any chance that we might hear you chit-chat with the Stat Guru 2.0?
Yeah, we could. We could bring him in this week. Yeah, he's a big Boston College football fan, so just like Mike tomorrow.
Yes. Did they play? They still have a team?
Yeah, I mean they played in Dublin, Ireland last week.
Did they play rugby against the team from Ireland?
They played Georgia Tech.
Did they win?
They did not. How would you? You already know that.
Can I just tell you, Mike Demoro on Facebook said that there's a bird that was out to get him because it keeps defecating on his car, and all these people were giving him suggestions on how to get rid of the bird. And I told him, I said, you should go and borrow the Boston College mascot.
Yeah,
and
the eagle,
and scare the bird away. And then I said, wait a minute, no one's scared of Boston College. 2nd and 6. Nelly hands off on a little delayed trap play, but nothing there. And Westerly runs to the football. It's going to bring up 3rd and a long 6. Nothing on the play that time with Isaiah Sebastian on the inside trap.
Key 3rd down here, Casey, for this Westerly defense to stop Fitch and get their offense back on the field. This is the down and distance that the Westerly's defense wants.
Hard to believe that the Bulldogs, if they can hold him here, would be in a position to be down only one score at halftime if they can make something happen.
Yeah.
They've had very little go right so far. Nelly under center for the Falcons on a 3rd and 7. Fakes the handoff on the middle, keeps it himself around left end, and nothing there. Great pursuit on the outside that time by Westerly's number 51, Seth Rodine, and it's going to bring up 4th down. Rodine that time stayed at home, didn't bite on the fake, got Nelly as he tried to quarterback keep it on the left tackle's position. It'll be 4th down, and Westerly will get the punt, and there's Jalen Valentine standing at his own 40-yard line.
Momentum swinging on the side of Westerly right now.
Snap is good. High spiraling kick comes down to Valentine at his own 45. He didn't call a fair catch. Valentine's got the sideline. Valentine's at the 40. Cuts back inside 30. Valentine to the 20-yard line. All of the Falcons players thought Valentine was going to make a fair catch. He didn't, and he got the ball all the way down to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Valentine has had a big kickoff return, a big punt return, and a touchdown run. He's done everything so far on the offensive end for the Westerly Bulldogs. Heads-up play that time by Mr. Valentine.
Happy Valentine's Day indeed. Jalen Valentine bringing a little love to the Westerly side of things right now. Ball at the 20-yard line with 4:42 remaining in the first half.
He's versatile. He's talented. He's got versatility, Casey O'Neill.
He does. That's exactly what
versatility.
That's what versatility means. If you're versatile, you have versatility. Talented. Well, no, versatility just means if you're versatile. You don't have to be talented.
Talented too.
Not versatility. Just means just means versatile. That's okay. There's implied versatility. There you go. Versatility. All right.
I'm on it.
That's fantastic. Direct snap that time to Juni Rios, and a trick play that time by Westerly, but it's not going to be snuffed out. I mean, it is going to be snuffed out by Fitch. That time, Juni Rios took the direct snap.
Was that a trick play, or nobody was ready?
No, Juni Rios took the snap and stopped as if he was expecting the play to be whistled dead, and then he took off running. And either way, that play had no chance. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9.
I'm going to go with busted play. You could stick with trick play.
I'm going with trick play.
You think it was a trick play?
This whole offense reeks of trick play.
Trick play. Coach says trick play over to my right.
See? Yeah. Thank you very much. Big in the single wing. Yeah. Hey, listen, that's Leo Ficini, and he knows what he's talking about. I'm taking his word to the bank. Knows more about football than I do. Valentine, direct snap, has the corner. Valentine to the 10, cuts it back into the 5. Valentine puts his head down. Touchdown, Jalen Valentine. And Westerly is back in the ball game.
78 yards and 2 touchdowns for Jalen Valentine. He is Mr. Everything in the first half here for the Westerly Bulldogs, Casey. And again, big defensive stop. Boom, right down the field. 6 points. We got ourselves a ball game here.
This is the helter-skelter Fitch team that we saw so much of last year.
Yeah.
Looking like the first quarter, like they were unbeatable. In the second quarter, they can't get out of their own way. 21-12. And Westerly's going to go for 2 here with 4:08 remaining in the first half. Rios, Valentine in the backfield. Direct snap goes to Valentine, cuts it inside, tries to get back up the middle of the field, puts his head down, and I don't think he's going to get there.
He had a lane on the outside, too. I don't know why he cut back that time, Casey. He had some room on the left-hand side.
Both times he scored touchdown, Sports Doctor, he has done so with speed to the outside.
Right.
And he keeps trying, maybe in the second half that sets up something for him, but it looks like he's got room on the outside, and he is just not taking advantage of it. But with 4:08 remaining here in the first half, somehow, miraculously, the Westerly Bulldogs, who looked like they were going to get run out of this building, are within a touchdown. Well, not anymore, they're not, but they're within 9, 21-12.
Coach Ficini is reminding me the lonesome polecat, the swinging gate, all big trick plays off of the single wing.
Well,
again, that's why he's here.
That's what I'm saying. Coach Ficini has forgotten more about these things than I certainly know. So I like having an expert over here to my right because that when he's.
Listen,
I like having. You know what we'll call you? We'll say I like having a well researched, a seasoned veteran off to my right, who can confirm that what we saw out there was not, in fact, what you said, Sports Doctor, which was a broken play. But in fact, it was chicanery. Playing the possum. Here's the problem with that. Every time I see a possum, they're dead on the side of the road. So I don't know if I don't want anyone to be playing possum. That doesn't sound like it's a very good idea.
Stonington and Plainfield scoreless at the half. Working around the ECC a little bit. 20-6 still. I'm sorry, Casey.
Okay.
New London.
You can run with it. Keep going.
Bacon down to Killingly in the first half.
Great kick that time by Connor Swain. Drove that ball into the end zone for a touchback, and Falconville will have the ball. 4:08 remaining here in the first half. Suddenly a 21-12 Falcons lead. But more importantly, the last couple of possessions, the Falcons haven't been able to get out of their own way.
Now, their offense has really sputtered, and they've hurt themselves a little bit. A couple penalties, a fumble. It just seems to me if Westerly can find a way to contain that big play, Fitch is going to have to find a way to manufacture offense. You haven't seen him go to the outside a lot. You have not called McClish's name a lot.
No, we haven't.
Sebastian?
Yeah, no, Hollis Scott is the key, and I don't think he's in the game right now. I think he is still on the sidelines, and he was a big part of that offense there in the first half. Nelly, speaking of the aforementioned McClish, but instead Nelly handed that ball straight up the middle to the up back, and it's going to be a gain of about 2. And like you said, they're trying to soften that middle, and Westerly's doing a real good job of staying home on that fullback dive.
Yeah, Scott's hit a couple of home runs off of that, but early in the ball game, Fitch had made their bread and butter on the outside, on the edge with their speed.
2nd and 9 for the Falcons as we're down now under 4 minutes, 3:40 remaining and ticking here in half number 1.
Versatility, like that.
Falcons will send Figueroa out wide left. Nelly under center now. We're down close to 3 minutes. Nelly fakes the pitch to the outside and keeps it himself and is wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage for a 6-yard gain. So suddenly they are keying on Tyler Nelly, and nothing there.
Yeah. Number 9, Big Peter Frizarro, that time with the penetration for the Bulldogs, making the play in the backfield. Again, down in distance, 3rd and 12 here for the Fitch Falcons.
We're going to have a 3 minutes of ball game here left, and if Westerly can hold here and get the football back, they should have excellent field position and maybe a chance to try to score at the end of the half, which is very, very hard to believe. Figueroa goes wide left for the Falcons. Nelly under center, motion man. Nelly rolls, steps up, wants to throw, pressured, throws in the flat, ball tipped and incomplete. He was looking for Sebastian, and it's going to bring up 4th down, and Falcons will have to punt.
No completions yet this ball game, and that time Nelly didn't have a chance to set his feet and actually throw the ball downfield. He was running to his left, Casey O'Neill, and just couldn't set himself to get anything on that throw.
You know, last year the stat guru, the great Waterford Mike Giannakis, I got to tell you though, Stat Guru 2.0 is doing a nice job in the early going.
He's in my ear. He's
Mike,
all right, yeah.
Mike who? Who is that? But he has to bring pizza or else none of this is forgiven. High kick lands at the 40-yard line and takes a Falcon roll. Will roll all the way to the other side of midfield where Fitch will down it at the 48-yard line. So with 2:16 remaining, they did not want to kick it anywhere near Jalen Valentine, but it will be 1st and 10 Westerly and almost at midfield at their own 48-yard line, trailing Fitch 21-12.
Yeah, Westerly's got life right now, too. The sidelines is up. I mean, the players have got a good swag going out there and brought a good crowd from across the border. Did the Westerly High School Bulldogs tonight. And they're back in this game here, Case.
2:16 remaining, Sports Doctor. This is not an offense that's designed to score quickly, though. So the question is going to be, can they go 50 yards in 2:16? Terranova, Rios, and Valentine are the backs for Westerly. Little movement. Snap goes to Valentine. Valentine cuts it back up inside off a left tackle, gain about 3 yards. Thought we were going to have a little movement on the line that time. We'll see if Westerly wants to go hurry up. You know, one thing that has really changed since Westerly moved Junie Rios, number 31, into the backfield, he's been the lead blocker for Valentine, and he's had a little more success than Ethan Holloway had in the early going.
Yeah, Valentine's carried the ball. That was his 12th carry tonight. So he has been the workhorse, and then some for this Westerly offense.
1:43 remaining, 21-12 Falcons. Westerly with the football just inside of Falcons territory at the 48-yard line. 2nd and 8. Fitch bunching the line. Straight snap. Valentine gonna throw. Valentine pressured. Tries to throw it in the flat and no flag. But Valentine was being wrapped up Dean Felice putting the pressure, and along with number 9, Hamir Stevens. So Stevens and Felice putting the pressure on Valentine that time. Incomplete, third down.
Yeah, Casey, that play is there, too. They've got one-on-one coverage on the outside through the Westerly tight ends or wide receivers are sneaking out of that formation. They just got to find him a little time to sit in the pocket and sit and make a nice throw. He was running for his life that time.
3rd and 8, 1:24 remaining in the first half. Westerly trailing 21-12, but with the football, hoping to score here before the end of the first half. Valentine gets the direct snap. He's going to throw. Has time. Ball is tipped at the line, and it's intercepted by the Falcons. Intercepted by number 44 of the Falcons. That's Pedro Mojica. Interception right at midfield, and with 1:17 remaining, the Falcons can think about scoring at the end of the half.
Well, they normally say, 2 out of the 3 things that happen when you pass the ball are bad. Well, you just saw one of them right there.
That ball was tipped at the line. Mojica did a great job sliding underneath it from his linebacker position, grabbed the interception, and held on to the football, returned it to the Bulldog 47-yard line. So with 1:17 remaining and a 21-12 lead, the Falcons in business in Westerly territory. Looks like we're going to have a new quarterback from the shotgun, Hamir Stevens. He rolls right, looking to throw, going to keep it himself in the open field, breaks a tackle, first down and more, all the way to the 35-yard line. Hamir Stevens, the sophomore, Coach Ellis said we'd see him from the shotgun and that he was a great athlete, and he showed it there.
And that's the first time we've seen speed out of this Fitch offense in a long time, Case.
Down under 1 minute, 21-12. Stevens from the shotgun. This time he rolls left, looking to throw. Steps, throws to the sideline, and it's complete. Complete down to the 21-yard line. That looks like to Cleon. Was that McClish?
Figueroa.
Nope. That was Figueroa catching the ball at the 21-yard line.
First completion of the ball game tonight for the Fitch Falcons, and Stevens has come in here and given him a little shot in the arm on the offensive end.
Hamir Stevens with a run off of one side to the right side, a pass rolling left, and a nice catch by Tony Figueroa. He and Cleon McClish both had a chance at the ball, but Figueroa caught it at the 21-yard line, and with 56 seconds remaining in the first half, the Falcons at the 21-yard line. And I got to tell you, too, the way Nelly has kicked extra points, I think he could make a field goal from about 35 yards, too. So they are definitely knocking on the door here, almost in the red zone.
Yeah, Stevens has been a playmaker since being inserted into this Fitch offense. Little run, little pass. Looks pretty good out there. Young sophomore quarterback, defensive end, Mr. Versatility for the Fitch Falcons.
Don't overuse it or else it loses its effect.
No, I will not. That was a good spot for
Keep that in your back pocket. 56 seconds remaining. Coach Dwayne Miranda of the Westerly Bulldogs imploring his defense to hold firm here and not give up the momentum that they so hard. They fought for that momentum to come back into it. 21-12. They were down 21-0. But here's a turnover, and the Falcons looking to try to score at the end of the half. Hamir Stevens will come back into the game at quarterback. They're going to send Letellier out wide right. McClish in the slot. Handoff instead, and nothing doing. Westerly not fooled there as Stevens handed the ball off. We'll see who comes out of the pack with that. Handed the ball off to Tyler Andrews, and nothing there.
Fitch up against the clock here now, Case.
40 seconds. Stevens remains in the shotgun. Shot is there. Stevens rolls right. Pressured. Going to keep it. Has a seam. Gets to the outside. Bounces towards the sidelines. Trying to get out of bounds. And they are going to say he got out of bounds at about the 12, but they're winding the clock. So they're saying he did not get out of bounds. Fitch has to hurry here. 25 seconds in the first half. Down under 20. The Falcons with third down here. Third and very short. Got to try to get a playoff now.
Stevens should get out of bounds instead of lowering the boom there.
Stevens from the shotgun. Down almost 10. Shotgun, here it is. Stevens rolls left. Pressured. Dumps it off to Andrews, and he drops the football. It's going to go incomplete with 6.5 seconds, and that's probably a benefit.
Yeah, that's a good play right there,
for the Falcons, because now they can at least attempt the field goal or a final play to throw it in the end zone. If he had caught that ball, this half would have been over because he would not have been able to get out of bounds.
And it looks like right now Fitch is not going to attempt to kick a field goal, Casey. They got their offense on the field.
I don't think they like the hash. They're on the far right hash. They might not want to try to kick it from way over on that hash. Instead, they're going to try to maybe throw this ball in the end zone from the 11-yard line. Plus, with Hamir Stevens, he's a dual threat right now. So let's see what the Falcons concoct. This is going to be the last play of the first half, most likely. 4th and 12. 6.5 seconds remaining. Falcons on the far right hash. Twins left, Twins right. Stevens, straight drop, and we have a flag. And a good thing, too, because he was about to get ripped by Antonio LeBoy, who was blitzing. And, oh, boy, LeBoy was about to take Stevens, but instead we have a flag. We'll see what the officials have to say about the flag as they are
false start, illegal formation, false start.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
False start against the Falcons. That's going to make it 4th and 17. Really doesn't matter. What matters is it's 4th and a touchdown. But they're going to try to go for this thing now. Now the ball is marked at the 17. So it's 4th and goal for all intents and purposes. 5.5 seconds remaining. Stevens from the shotgun. Straight drop. Has time. Throws into the corner of the end zone. And he was looking for McClish. But it's incomplete. And that will take us to the end of the half. At the half, here on the campus of Fitch High School, it is the home Falcons 21, the visiting Bulldogs of Westerly 12. Stay tuned for the Sports Doctor, bringing you the halftime show. Our guests include the day's Mike DeMoro, and we will be back with second half action. Stay tuned for the Sports Doctor.
Thank you, Casey O'Neill. The halftime house call brought to you by GameDay and TheDay.com and the Sports Doctor. Settling things in here at Fitch High School, 21-12. We got ourselves a ball game. It looked like it'd be a runaway early, but Westerly has done a really nice job as far as tightening things up and getting themselves back in this ball game. 21-12 is the score. We'll wait for Mike tomorrow to make his way up to the booth. He'll be one of my halftime guests. Mike, the writer here today. Quick out-of-town scoreboard check. New London down the road at East Lyme leads 27-6. We've got Montville up 14-0 at Griswold. Halftime in Stonington is Plainfield Stonington 0-0 at halftime. So, and NFA, I will get you a score on that game. I promise maybe Mike has got it, but we will find out and we'll grab that for you in a second. 14-0. Killingly over Bacon as well. My good buddy, nothing on NFA Xavier. That we'll get something on that.
6-0 Xavier.
6-0 Xavier. You're happy about that?
Yeah.
Your old alma mater.
alma mater. Why not?
Well, listen, halftime here. We got ourselves a ball game, Mike, tomorrow.
Yes, we do. And I'm thinking that if Scott, the fullback, doesn't come back, we're going to really have a ball game here.
Listen, how you been? I mean, this is the first time I've actually had a chance to talk sports to you or with you since Josh Tibbett. That's it. We haven't talked sports in a long time.
Everything's good.
Listen, the flip-flops are gone. The beach chair's gone.
Yes.
You still got the shorts on because it's 90 degrees here, game time. But summer's over, and you guys are ready to get back to work.
Yes, we are back to it.
You got the whole crew out there, the whole staff at the day. Everybody's out there, and it's crazy this time of year with all the football games. Vicky and the Yukon football. You were at that game the other night.
Yeah, we got the other night. We got Coast Guard tomorrow.
Coast Guard.
Lots going on.
All right, so we're happy to be back here on Game Day in Wired Zone, and we talked about this. This game could have got away early from Westerly. Fitch seemed to self-destruct a little bit in that one possession, couple turnovers, fumble. Westerly's in business.
Yeah, I'm down on the Fitch sideline right now, Keith, and they, the coaches keep talking about focus. I think when they got up by three scores, some of that kind of went out the door, and they're struggling to get it back. And Scott, the fullback, is such a key to the option because he runs the dive so well. If he's out, I don't know, Keith. This will be a competitive game.
Right. Then on the other side, you got let's hang in there with Dwayne Miranda and Westerly because they were down early on the road, and you've either got two ways to go. You either pack the truck and go home, or you can stand and fight. And they've done a very, very good job here.
Well, what's interesting to me is whether Westerly's style will wear down Fitch late in the game.
Right.
And those plays that are going for 4 and 5 yards now go for 13 and 14. You know.
Right, and heavens forbid you sneak one of these guys out in the pass pattern. That play's been there a few times.
Yeah, I tell you, for a game where there's been such little throwing, it was kind of a long half.
And it was
probably, what, 6 pass plays the whole half?
Yeah, there was some penalties and stuff like that. All right, Mike, so we got Westerly and Fitch here tonight. We got a good ball game. It's 21-12. You take a look around the league a little bit in the ECC as far as high school football goes. What are some of the storylines early? I'll give you, obviously you talked about NFA on the road at Xavier, NFA's big boy schedule. How will they make out into that?
I don't see how they could possibly. I mean, they've got 4 losses on their schedule before they play New London and Ledyard.
Right.
So to me, they have to run the table in the ECC just to have a winning year.
So you've got Berlin ranked in the top 10.
Yeah.
You've got Staples ranked in the top 10.
Darien,
and Xavier's known in the state.
Stanford. Yeah.
Darien was number 1 in the state.
Yeah. And they're all returning. I read Ned Griffin's preview on our website today, and he had Xavier, Staples, and Darien in the top 10.
Yes.
And Stanford's a big double L school from a really good league. So I don't. That'll be something as we go down the road to ask them why they did that.
And we'll get a chance to do that. Mike, how about New London? There seems to be a good feel around that program this year. Juan Roman is back. They're loaded with talent.
Yeah.
Young class and a senior class right there. Seems like they could have a chance here to at least qualify for a state tournament berth.
Yeah, I think they will. I don't think their schedule is overly difficult. They have Ledyard, NFA, and Wilbur Cross are probably their three best games that they play, and I certainly think they can win. They could win a couple of those. So they're going to be. I would make them the best team right now.
They're up 27-6 on the road at East Lyme. East Lyme is one of those young teams looking to make that next step this year. Very tough to do it against in London. Montville is up at Griswold right now. Montville's been one of those teams over the last few years. 5-6 wins, tough team. Trying to get to 7-8 and 7 or 8 wins, qualify for state tournament.
That's a tall order this year. Without, I don't know that their quarterbacking is all that great. So that. If you're going to be good, that's a spot where you got to be good.
Right.
And I don't know that they are.
Yeah, and also too around the league a little bit, you've got Stonington trying to be competitive, and Ledyard. A lot of question marks this year with Ledyard football. New head coach. We all know the success that Jimmy Bunacord had there. Detail, meticulous, did everything but win a state championship. And I assume it's got to be somewhat hard for a new guy, but under the regime, to take over the reins there a little bit.
Yeah, and Jimmy was the best coach in this league, hands down, in the last couple of years, and I just don't know how you step in for somebody like that. I think they have some players. But
yeah, Max Ebden's very good. Manny DeShields, Stanford.
When things start to go south, they always had that rock there to
right.
And now you just don't know what's going to happen.
It's halftime of the Fitch Westerly game here on Game Day, today.com. The sports doctor Mike DeMauro stepping in and making a house call. Mike, you were at the UConn football game last week. They beat Maine last week, 24-21. They play Navy tomorrow, and I think it could be a long day. And you were with the coaching staff last week, and you talked to the coaches, and they were all pretty much upbeat even after a win against Maine.
Well, they were basically the party line was we would have lost this game last year. Once Maine went ahead by 7 with about 5 minutes left,
right,
we would have folded our tents. That's what they. But and to their credit, they won. But we'll know more. Let's see if they can stop the Navy option.
Yeah, but I'm one of the guys, Mike, in the offseason was drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm saying 7 wins.
That's possible. I mean, we'll know tomorrow afternoon. You'll know.
All right. Well, that's it.
Yep.
What else is going on? NFL got underway this last night.
I
Broncos
didn't see any
and
of
Carolina Panthers. Your Giants in full gear on Sunday. The Patriots. A great time of year to be a sports fan.
Oh.
Baseball pennant chase is coming down the stretch. High school college, professional, and Coast Guard tomorrow has what big game
Kings
and
Point,
Mass
they're big rival.
Yeah, and that's tomorrow down at the Coast Guard Academy. So it's a
A
great
lot of
time
fun.
to be a sports fan. All right, listen, thanks for coming in for a few minutes. I'll see you down the field.
Bring the real guest.
I'll bring in the coach, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, coach is going to put on his headset. Coach, he is, I'm doing pretty well. He is brand new Fitch basketball coach, Charles Sylvan.
Yes.
All right, I want to make sure I get that right. Coach, you're coming from the middle of the state. You're coming from the program over at Windsor.
Yes, sir.
Your first year here, you've spent a long time with Danny Spellman.
Yes.
At East Lyme, so you're not unfamiliar with the ECC.
No, I'm not. I do know the area, and I lived in Norwich for a long time and went to St. Bernard's.
Right.
So I'm very familiar with the area, and I bounced back as a kid, back and forth from Norwich to New London. So I've made friends on both sides of the river.
Right. And what does it mean now to be a head coach and to take over for Fitch? Alec Furtick had been here the last few years. He's done great things with this program. Got the team going in the right direction to contend not only for the league title, but get themselves in the mix in the state as well. So, what kind of work do you have to do?
We're very excited. Alex left the program behind in a good place, and we're trying to build on that. He had a lot of young talent that he was developing, and he still works with.
Sure.
He does a lot of things in the community with the kids still, and he's very active, and he's played a prominent role in the transition to make things smooth for me also.
Right. Now, I mean, you were involved in the Weaver program, Windsor program. You're talking about big programs. So what does that equate to coming to a bit of a smaller program like Fitch?
We have work to do.
Okay.
Our objectives are the same. We're talking about a process and getting the kids to improve, and more importantly, teaching them and showing them what kind of work actually goes into that process to developing kids into that level of player.
So you're going to do your style of play. This is Coach Sylvan's stamp on Fitch basketball, and you got to get the kids to buy in.
Yes, we're trying to raise the level of intensity and most importantly, the commitment. We're looking for kids who are committed to the program and to representing their community and their parents in the school. This is a great place to go to school. It's a wonderful community to raise your children in, and we want to create some excitement in the program.
What's the one school in the league? I'm sure you have the schedule set for next year. What's the one team in the schedule that you would look forward to matching up against?
We really...
Is that looking too far? Maybe looking too far ahead.
We take it one at a time, but, if there's one game that stands out, we're looking at Bassick down there in Bridgeport.
Yeah, it's big time.
That's a game that we really want to get the kids in, so we've got the kids involved early this year in the summer in New Britain, and we'll continue to have the kids play some of the elite teams in the state in East Hartford. And, we're trying to get as many kids involved in basketball and outside of the regular season so we can help these kids improve and kind of take them out of their comfort zone.
Right. Is your staff in place yet, Coach? Are you still working on a JV coach, freshman coach?
We're still working on some of the staff. We do have some people, but we're still working on where they're actually going to fit in the program.
Right. Now, how important is that not only to you personally, but to the program as a whole, to have good support underneath you?
It's very important. It's paramount because we want everyone to be basically one voice. Everyone has to buy into the vision if the student athlete's going to buy into the vision. So we need everyone on the same page, working together to support each other.
Yeah, it's good stuff. He is first year head coach Charles Sylvan here at Fitch High School and enjoying the game tonight and taking things in. It's a pretty entertaining ball game tonight, Coach.
Very exciting. The kids are very prepared, very well prepared, and they're playing extremely hard, executing on offense, and tackling well on defense.
And I'm sure, Mike Ellis has talked about this in the past. I'm sure you'll talk about it too. The support you have personally from the athletic department here, Mark Romano.
It's tremendous. Tremendous. He's 100% behind your back, and, he looks to support you in any way that is, whether it's fundraising, running additional events at school to help give kids opportunities to participate in other activities, and, helping the students as far as college placement and academics.
Yeah, Fitch Athletics on the rise. Obviously, we don't have to go too further. In the girls softball team last year, state championship,
Yes.
boys team success, basketball team on the rise, and Fitch football tradition trying to be restored. Good things happening here at Fitch High School.
Yes, sir.
All right, we will see you down the road, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll see you on game day, I'm sure.
Right, you will.
Charles Sylvan checking things out, doing work. We got about 3 minutes or 4 minutes left to go here before half. I'll bring on the Stat Guru. We put on the other headset. Stat Guru is here in studio and taking in the game. And it's your first year here with Game Day and with Wired Zone, and you were doing this now. What do you think so far?
So far, it's good. It's a good game to watch. I like keeping stats. It's fun to do, so it keeps me busy.
What else you do? What do you do? I mean, can we say what school he goes to, or do not want to give that up? He goes to a high school here in the ECC, but what else do you like to do in your spare time when you're not feeding us with stats?
I like playing basketball. I play
No
for
kidding!
The high school team, yeah.
You play the high school place?
Baseball, too.
There you go. You play for the baseball team, the high school team?
Baseball is my favorite sport, so.
Baseball is your favorite sport?
Got a good program, so.
And you're a huge sports fan. You're Boston
Huge.
College, football.
All sports.
What do you root for in the NFL?
Jets fan.
Wow, he's a Jets fan.
Yep.
No kidding. Well, listen, what do you, game day so far, Wired Zone, you've seen the videos and you're part of it, so keep chiming in my ear, and we'll talk to you next week. We will sprinkle more information about where you go to school. You are what? You were a junior this year?
Junior.
So he's a junior this year. He plays basketball. He possibly plays baseball. And he goes to school in the ECC, and he's a Boston College fan. Stat Guru 2.0.
Yep.
All right, we'll see you.
Yep.
Casey O'Neill.
Thank you.
We'll get him to come back in a few minutes. It is halftime here at Fitch High School, 21-12. Fitch leads over Westerly. I'll grab some of these out-of-town scores. We will not cross the seams, as I will get on the other side of you as my partner comes in, Casey O'Neill. Casey, in a game that looked like it was going to get out of control early, Fitch seemed to hurt themselves a little bit and let Westerly back in the game a little bit.
Well, Sports Doctor, you used the word hurt themselves. It's actually an injury.
Yes.
To a key player on the Falcons that's really sort of disrupted a little bit of what their offense was doing, and that's number 22, Hollis Scott. In the early going, Westerly was committing to stopping that fullback dive that was Hollis Scott, and that opened up the outside. We saw McClish and Sebastian have success to the outside. The one time Westerly chose to cheat and not take away the dive, Scott went 70 yards for a touchdown. He came out of the game with an ankle injury, and Tyler Andrews just doesn't have the same explosiveness, so Westerly doesn't have to honor the dive as much as they did with Scott. So that's the first thing. So the response on the other side from the Falcons was to go to Hamir Stevens, put him in the shotgun to give them a little wrinkle, another look. On the other side of things, I talked to some of the Fitch assistant coaches on their way to the locker room, and what they were most disappointed about was, he said, their team is gassed right now. He said the humidity, first game of the year, going full speed, and he said their guys are tired. And I said, well, yeah, it's hot, it's humid. He goes, hey, the Westerly team's playing under the same conditions we're playing under. They don't look as tired as we do. So the Falcons certainly a little concerned right now with the conditioning going into the second half.
Yeah, I mean, could that be a factor here in the last 24 minutes of football where Westerly's offensive line, Casey, who are geared for pounding, who are geared for moving forward, could wear out maybe some of the Falcons players?
I think Fitch's explosiveness is drastically reduced without Hollis Scott in the game because it takes away an element of their team. And I think Westerly's physicality, where they were just pounding away, where every play Fitch has to play disciplined and physical. I think it is. You can't, one of the things that Coach Ellis said was, and actually Coach Miranda said the same thing, you can't duplicate this offense with a scout team. So there was no way for Fitch during the practice week to duplicate what they were going to see tonight from Westerly. So even though Westerly's down 9, the war of attrition is on the side of the Bulldogs right now.
So headed into the locker room, the Fitch coaching staff was a little concerned about being beat up, whipped, and gassed. And I'm sure on the flip side, the Westerly folks we're back in this ballgame.
Coach Miranda and his staff were imploring his team to stay focused, keep the keep the intensity up, and keep grinding. And the word was grind. Keep grinding away. Keep grinding away on both sides of the ball, because one of the things that Westerly was imploring was we still have to play disciplined on the defensive side of things, because Fitch is one play away from popping one, and they have to stay disciplined. I think Coach Miranda realizes he's still 2 scores down in this game.
Yeah.
But a much different attitude around the Westerly team right now, certainly realizing that they are very much in this football game.
Yeah, the big plays certainly hurt that Westerly defense, too, by Fitch. Talked about the big dive play by Scott, some of the speed early on the outside by McClish. Those plays kind of hurt Westerly a little bit, Casey. We got ourselves a ball game here. I mean, this game could have went one way or the other, and it went the other. I mean, Westerly found a way to get back in the game. Granted, off of a couple of Fitch mistakes, but you got to give Valentine a lot of credit here for Westerly too. He's done everything he possibly can on kick returns, punt returns, rushing the football. He's a tough kid out there.
Two things I'll be interested in seeing. One is if the Westerly coaching staff said to him, hey, listen, you got to bounce some of these outside, because he kept staying inside, and when he did bounce outside, resulted in a couple of touchdowns, but he seems very focused on staying in between the tackles. And number two, there was a play in the first half. You saw it, wide receiver, or tight end actually, running right down the seam, wide open, one-on-one deep, and Westerly didn't recognize it. I think you're gonna see them go back to that play before the end of this quarter.
Right, and that single wing kind of lulls the defense into that, where they concentrate so much on stuffing the line of scrimmage, and when you can get one-on-one in the secondary, Casey, like you said, there's going to be an opportunity to make a play for Westerly in the passing game.
Well, that's what Coach Miranda was saying. You know, the disciplined nature of defending his team is that, and it's the same as defending Fitch, is there are players out there in the secondary who are essentially defending air. Every play, it's just go to a spot and nothing happens. Go to a spot and nothing happens. And the repetition of going to a spot when nothing happens is counterintuitive to what football is, which is go to the football. So all it takes is that defensive player to choose to go to the ball instead of his designated spot, and a whole portion of the field opens wide up.
Game day in Wired Zone on theday.com. The sports doctor making a house call here, Fitch High School. Casey O'Neill, the play-by-play voice of game day. About 2 minutes to go here before we start the third quarter. Casey O'Neill, you get a chance to sit down and watch your Notre Dame Fighting Irish last weekend?
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, Sports Doctor, because last week when we were doing our run through, you presented to me the more likely thing to happen. You said, what's more likely to happen? Texas comes within a few points of Notre Dame, or USC comes within a few points of Alabama. And I told you that USC was going to get dusted by Alabama.
You were right.
And I told you that that Notre Dame could let anybody play with them. They're not in that elite category. And I would like to say, much to my chagrin, because I'm a Notre Dame fan, that Texas is better than USC, and Alabama is in a class by itself.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about Alabama, but I think Notre Dame's got some problems in the secondary, Casey. A couple of the guys got suspended and whatnot, but Texas did pop big play after big play and poor tackling by the Irish. They get a chance to redeem themselves tomorrow against that juggernaut, Nevada.
Yeah, but if Torrey Hunter doesn't come back soon off of that concussion,
he's a key
as
guy.
much as I love Equanimous, that's not
he's
they're not the
a
same
key
team.
guy.
Westerly to kick off from its own 40. Spiraling end-over-end kick by Swain. Comes down to the 5-yard line. Falcons straight up the middle. Figueroa breaks a tackle. He's going to get up to the 25, where Fitch will have its first possession of the second half. So let's see what adjustments were made here at halftime. First and 10 Falcons from the 25. And the first thing that I see... Number 22, limping, but Hollis Scott is in the ballgame.
Yeah, going to be a key ingredient for the success of the Falcons here in the second half. They surely missed him in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the second quarter.
And it does appear that Tyler Nelly will start the half at quarterback for the Falcons. So Nelly will be up under center, and Scott will be in the backfield. Twins right for the Falcons. McClish and Sebastian on the wings. In motion, McClish takes the pitch, right side, gets to the corner, breaks a tackle, and gets a nice gain of 8 yards with some speed. Cleon McClish, 2nd and 2, Falcons.
Yeah, nice job that time by the Westerly defensive secondary, holding their lanes and staying in and making sound tackling. McClish broke that run on the very first play of the game for the Falcons for a big gain. 8 yards there, Casey, but Westerly staying at home that time on D.
Just what the Falcons would like. Second and a manageable down and distance allows them to keep the ball on the ground. Hollis Scott will be at fullback. McClish and Sebastian, the speedy wings. They'll send Letelier out wide right and Figueroa out wide left. Nelly under center. Straight drop, looking to throw, looking down the sideline for Letelier, and it's incomplete. Covered on the play by John Brutcher. And that is a name that we have called many times here on game day, but that is Zach Letelier, replacing perhaps one of the, if not the best receiver in the ECC, one of the sort of the trinity of receivers we saw last year in the ECC.
Yeah, and that's a play last night Mike Ellis talked about. We just got to throw it up there and Letelier could go get it. Well, that Letelier, maybe not this one at this stage of his career.
That's right. Still got some work, does Zach Letelier. 3rd and 1. Nelly under center. In motion, Sebastian. Sebastian gets the pitch, cuts it back to the outside. He's going to have a first down, but not much more. Nice tackle out there on the outside by Connor Swain, but Sebastian will have the first down, and it'll be 1st and 10. Move the chains. Ball marked at the 36-yard line with 10:52 remaining here in the third period, and the Falcons on top, 21-12 with the football. Falcons going right to left in your imagination.
Radio dial.
But if you're not, maybe if you're watching on the day.com or you're listening on the day.com, you don't have a radio dial.
Sure.
So it's right to left in your imagination. Handoff straight up the middle to Hollis Scott. Scott bullies his way forward for about 5. Tough physical running that time by Hollis Scott. He'll gain 4, and it'll be 2nd down and 6 Falcons.
You know, a lot is asked of this linebacking core of the Westerly Bulldogs out there, too. Very important for them to stuff the line of scrimmage on that play. And they did a nice job of it.
Starting to see some of the Westerly linemen and linebackers with their hands on their hips, which is a sign of getting a little bit fatigued and tired here. You know, let's not forget this Fitch offense can wear you down as well with that big offensive line that we talked about before the game. Nelly sends Sebastian in motion. Sebastian gets the pitch, straight up the middle, and hit immediately by Rios and Lacerte. And a flag comes in late, and that looks in the place of unsportsmanlike conduct. Let's see what the officials have to say.
Face mask.
We're gonna get a face mask, which is gonna, if it's against Westerly, we'll give Fitch an automatic first down. It is, in fact, a dead ball foul. It is an unsportsmanlike penalty against Westerly, and that's going to give the Falcons a first down and march them onto the other side of midfield. They'll now be in Westerly territory.
Those are tough penalties, Casey. Those are 15 free yards for an offense.
Ball marked all the way down at the 42-yard line. So 1st and 10, Fitch down under 10 minutes, 21-12 Falcons. Ball at the 41-yard line. Falcons send Tyler Nelly, the sophomore quarterback, under center. In motion, McClish. Handoff straight up the middle to Scott, and nothing there. Nice job by the center of the Bulldog line, led there by Max Davis, along with Josh Lacerte. Calling Lacerte's name a lot.
Yeah.
Seth Rodine was in on the tackle that time as well.
Yeah, Rodine sneaking up from his middle linebacking position that time, Casey, and almost making himself an extra defensive lineman, trying to stuff that middle a little bit and stuff Scott in his tracks. Creeping up a lot of guys. You know, you get 7, 8 guys on the line of scrimmage right now with Westerly.
Yeah, look for the Falcons to try to take advantage with perhaps what they had tried before with Letellier, or one of those little reverse traps where they go against the flow. In motion, and the pitch goes out wide left. That looks like it's to Sebastian. Sebastian has the sideline and a first down. Isaiah Sebastian got the corner with that speed, and the senior captain gets the ball down into deep Westerly territory. They'll mark him out at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, the outside speed that time by Sebastian. Seth Rodine came all the way from his middle linebacking position to track him down and save a touchdown. 59 yards on the ground so far for Sebastian.
Letellier goes out wide right. Figueroa wide left. McClish and Sebastian are out of the wings. In motion is Sebastian, and we're going to have that play whistled dead. We're going to probably have an illegal procedure penalty against the Falcons. Let's see what the officials have to say about that. It occurred before. So, yep, illegal procedure against the Fitch, and it'll be 1st and 15. So last night, Sports Doctor, the Carolina Panthers had a 3rd and 25.
Yeah.
And they called Chris Harris for a hands to the face, where he jammed the guy at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
First down, because it's an automatic first down.
Sure.
That's just silly. Handoff straight up the middle, goes to Scott. Scott's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage off right tackle, but it's going to bring up 2nd and 11. 25-yard 3rd down.
Right.
He jams the guy at the line, hands to the face they call, which is an automatic first down, not even involved in the play. It's just
that's a little much.
Makes no sense to me at all.
Off the ball, not even involved.
No, makes no sense to me.
No, and that's going to happen. It's football. That's
no sense.
Not chippiness.
No, it's just no sense. No sense. There should be misdemeanors and felonies in the penalty department. not all hands to the face should be the same. Automatic first down. That's just awful.
Foul.
2nd and 13 with 8 minutes remaining here in the third period. Falcons at the 28-yard line. In motion, McClish, he gets the pitch going right, looking for the corner, has one man to beat, tries to get to the outside and can't get past the grasp of Ryan Holloway. Holloway flying in from the secondary and gets McClish out of bounds, where it'll bring up a 3rd and perhaps 9.
Sebastian's got to hold his block out there just a little bit longer to get Cleon McClish to the corner and have him turn up field. Great job that time by the Westerly defense. If Sebastian could just hold his block, Casey, for another couple seconds, McClish could have some running room out there. Very important for these wide receivers to block in this Fitch offense.
Absolutely, Sports Doctor. An underappreciated aspect of any offense, blocking well from the wide receiver position. 3rd and 9 from the 24. In motion, Sebastian. Sebastian gets the pitch to the left. Sebastian has the corner. Sebastian has room, and he gets inside the 15-yard line, wrestled to the ground right on the other side of the first down marker at the 12, but it will be a first down for the Falcons.
Speed on display here in the second half for the Fitch Falcons. Sebastian saw the corner, took it, almost outran the entire Westerly defense to the cone. 8 carries for 75 yards for Isaiah Sebastian.
Well, Coach Ellis said that the goal of the Falcons was to play every play as hard as they could and improve on that 5-5 season. Last year, just winning a game was big. This year, they expect to win, and they are showing it here on this first possession. McClish gets the pitch to the right, cuts it back up inside, tries to get outside. Nothing doing that time. Holloway chased him down. Also in on the play, Austin Martin. And Austin Martin, by the way, isn't that's a nice car, an Austin Martin?
Yeah, drive one of those?
It's
Drive the Bentley?
Austin Healey is what I want to drive, not an Austin Martin.
This is a very, very good Fitch drive here. 9 plays on this drive, almost taking up the entire third quarter.
2nd and 6 from the 9-yard line. 6:45 remaining here in period number 3. Falcons on top, 21-12. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill, along with the Sports Doctor, Keith O'Brien, the junior voice of Game Day, Stat Guru 2.0, and all of your Game Day crew. Handoff, keeper instead by Nelly. Not anything doing there on 2nd and 6, maybe 2 yards, but it's going to bring up a 3rd and manageable 3 or 4 yards for the Falcons.
This is a big drive here for the Fitch Falcons, Casey. 10 plays, all coming on the ground. They've got themselves knocking on the door of a touchdown. It's almost a 6-minute drive to start the second half.
Just what the Falcons ordered here, getting the Westerly defense on the field for a long period of time, wear them out a little bit, and if they can punch one in here to go up what amounts to 3 scores, that will go a long way in sealing this one.
4-down territory here?
I think so, yes. 3rd and 6, Nelly under center. In motion is Sebastian. Sebastian gets the pitch, cuts it back inside, and a great job by a pursuing Bulldog defense led by Max Davis and Ethan Holloway, and it will be 4th and 4, and let's see what the Falcons want to do. Ball's in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
They could certainly kick a field goal here, which would put them up 12, which is really still just the 2 scores. So I would expect to see them go for it here on 4th and 6.
I would say so. Holloway shooting a gap from his linebacker position, making the shoestring tackle that time for the Westerly Bulldogs. Both these guys, Holloway and Rodine, very active at the linebacker spot for the Westerly.
4th and 6. The clock will be under 5 minutes by the time this play is over. Nelly, straight drop, throws, corner route, and it is complete in the back of the end zone for a touchdown.
13 plays, 70 yards on the touchdown drive for the Fitch Falcons to begin the second half, Casey O'Neill, putting them up 27-12.
Well, hold on a minute here. The officials are conferring right now, and I have a feeling that this one is going to go incomplete. I think they are going to wave it off. The officials on the field are conferring, and they are waving the hand, and they are...
Coach Miranda is not happy about this. Oh, he is happy about it. Okay. The pass will be ruled incomplete.
It will be an incomplete pass. So it will not be a touchdown for the Falcons. It looked like they had Sebastian in the back of the end zone. Excuse me, they had Figueroa in the back of the end zone, but instead incomplete. And with 4:53 remaining here in the third period, a 7-minute drive for nothing.
Yeah, 13 plays, 7 minutes, and 66 yards, not 70 yards, is what the Falcons needed for a touchdown there. Big drive, and they come up empty.
Let's see what the Bulldogs can do with their first possession here. Way back in the shadow of their own end zone. That's not where they want to be. Snap goes to Valentine. Valentine gets the corner. Valentine bounces it outside. Valentine crosses the 20. And all the way over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Great first down run by Jalen Valentine.
Yeah, very patient run that time by Valentine, Casey. We've seen him all day long trying to hit that cutback lane early. That time, stuck to the outside, threw his head down, got tough 4 or 5 yards at the end of the run. 13 carries for 96 yards for Mr. Valentine.
And more importantly, gets the ball back out to the 25-yard line where the Bulldogs have a little breathing room. 4.5 minutes, though, down 9. Westerly with the football. 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Snap again to Valentine. Trying to the left side this time. Nothing there. Fresco Stevenson pursuing from inside. Gets him for a gain of perhaps a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and 9. And we will be under 4 minutes.
I would imagine Valentine's going to need an ice pack or two in the morning, Casey O'Neill.
Only a
he
sophomore.
has been to work, yeah.
He bounced back, man.
Does that matter?
Sophomores bounce.
I need an ice pack after my bike rides on Sunday.
I need an ice pack after walking down a flight of stairs, but this kid's a sophomore in high school. He doesn't need an ice pack. 2nd and 8 from the 27-yard line. 3.5 minutes remaining here in period number 3. Westerly trails 21-12, but they have the football. Direct snap. Valentine looking to throw. Has pressure. Throws it in the flat to Terranova. It's complete. And Terranova will have about a 4-yard gain. And I should clarify, it's Ben Terranova, because when you say Terranova in Westerly, you can't throw a soupy in Westerly without hitting a Terranova somewhere.
First completion of the game for the Westerly Bulldogs. Underneath the coverage that time, they had a receiver going deep and decided to go underneath the Terranova, but completion nonetheless, Casey, brings up a manageable 3rd and 4.
Now, how do you pronounce
Soupy?
Soupy you got, but
pepperoni?
How do you Capicola. How do you pronounce that?
Capicola.
It is not pronounced Capicola. That's because your last name's O'Brien. That's why you pronounce it that way.
Coach is Capicola.
No,
right.
Coach knows better than that.
Capicola?
Capicola.
All right.
Straight snap, Valentine. Valentine has a little seam, cuts it back inside. He's going to have a first down. Jalen Valentine with a tough run, put his head down that time. Off left tackle, and he'll move the chains.
I got this one, Coach. Terranova says, give me the rock, baby. Good, tough inside run that time. And now you're seeing the Westerly offensive line impose their will a little bit on the up front of Fitch.
2:25 remaining here. Falcons on top 21-12. But Westerly has a little bit of momentum moving here. A big defensive stop and now a couple of first downs. And they have the ball at the 37-yard line. First down, Westerly. Straight snap, Valentine. Nope, it's a fake to Valentine. Instead, it goes straight up the middle to Juni Rios, and he'll have a gain of 3. Little trickery that time on the snap to Rios instead. And infrequently used ball carrier, but he's going to gain 4.5, almost 5 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 5. Ball all the way now up to the 42-yard line. Time, however, starting to creep in as we're almost to the end of the third period. 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining. Snap to Valentine. Valentine cuts it back in off a right tackle. Valentine rolls forward right up at the first down marker.
Sticks, yeah, moving the sticks is Westerly right
near
now.
Near the 48. Let's see where they give him a spot. I think they're going to mark it just shy. So I think it's going to be 3rd and maybe a foot here for Westerly with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the third period.
Yeah, Westerly just sticking to their game plan, Casey. And like you said, the clock may be not friendly to them in the fourth quarter, but they've coming out from the shadows of their own end zone, have moved the ball from the 5-yard line just shy of midfield. Good workman-like drive here for the Bulldogs.
3rd and less than a yard for Westerly. Straight snap to Valentine. Valentine cuts it to the outside. He's got a first down, cuts it back inside. Crosses over midfield, and I think he should have kept it to the outside. He had room. But he's got a first down for Westerly, and they're into Falcons territory. Ball marked at the 47-yard line. First down, Bulldogs.
Is there something about Valentine who likes contact on every play? He's got to take it up the middle. It was green grass outside to the left-hand side of that formation that time.
I think as a sophomore, he is running the ball in what we call a disciplined fashion, and as he gets a little more mature, he's going to realize that some of his creativity can get him to the outside.
I saw 15 yards of green grass in front of him.
First down, Bulldogs. Direct snap goes up the middle to Juni Rios. Juni Rios churning those legs, and he's going to have a nice 7-yard gain on first down, but that is going to bring us to the end of the third period. At the end of 3, the Westerly Bulldogs on the move, but they trail the Falcons of Fitch 21, the Bulldogs of Westerly 12, and we are going to get those 4 fingers in the air because it is time for fourth quarter football here on game day. Live from Fitch High School, Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor Keith O'Brien. Now, Sports Doctor Lawrence Memorial offers walk-in access and extended hours at its medical group's primary care practices, Stonington, New London, Waterford, and Mystic. 4 convenient locations with no appointment necessary. Visit lmwalkincare.org. That's lmwalkincare.org.
Big shout-out, Casey, in the third quarter that time to the Bulldog offensive line. Those big ones, the big ones up front for the Bulldogs doing work, and give them a lot of credit for taking the ball from the shadow of their own end zone, from the 5-yard line all the way out just past midfield. Great job up front by the Westerly Bulldog offensive line.
12 minutes remaining here in the ball game. Westerly trails by 9, but they have the football in Falcon territory with some first downs under their belt. It's going to be second down and 5 for the Bulldogs when we resume play here in quarter number 4. MJ Sullivan is a proud sponsor of Game Day, and the clock is ticking on a 72-hour sale. That's right, for the next 72 hours, you get 0% APR for 72 months on all 2016 Chevy models, or get up to 20% cash back. MJ Sullivan is on the corner of Broad and Coleman Streets in New London, or you can visit them at mjsullivanauto.com. Second down and 5, just about to start quarter number 4 here at Fitch High School, where the Falcons have a lead of 21-12 over the Westerly Bulldogs. Snap goes to Jalen Valentine. Valentine tries to get to the outside. Valentine has the outside. Valentine has the corner, crosses the 30, and is finally wrestled down by Sebastian after a big gain and a first down that brings the Bulldogs all the way to the 30-yard line. Call it the 28.
Nice job then again that time by the Westerly offensive line, Casey. Making big plays here.
They're going to mark him at the 27-yard line. The Falcons finding themselves too bunched up that time, not owning the outside, staying home, and this time Jalen Valentine does have the speed to the outside. Not many kids can beat the Falcons to the corner. First and 10 from the 27-yard line. Direct snap. This time it goes up the middle to Juni Rios. Juni Rios, the big bruising fullback, gets another great gain of 7 on first down. It's going to be second down and 3. And right now the Bulldogs have found something with Rios and Valentine.
6 carries for 21 yards for big Juni Rios, a junior Juni Rios.
Yeah, they got a lot of returning skill players to these Westerly Bulldogs. There's some skill in the bank here for Coach Dwayne Miranda as he moves forward.
10th play of the drive of coming off the shadow of their own end zone for the Bulldogs.
Second and 5, under 11 minutes here remaining at Fitch High School. Direct snap again to Rios. Rios spins off of right tackle, tries to get back up inside, and he's going to be close to the first down, maybe a yard short. Third and 2 for Westerly.
Casey, in a wild first half, which we saw a lot of scoring, big plays, busted plays, home run hitting plays, we've had 2 possessions here in the second half. We had a 13-play drive by Fitch that came up empty-handed. Now we've got an 11-play drive here for the Westerly Bulldogs.
And they're going to end up taking up as much time as the Falcons did, which that means they're going to have to get the ball back pretty quickly because they are down 2 scores. Third and 3 from the 20. Look for the ball to get in Valentine's hands here, and it does. Direct snap, Jalen Valentine. Valentine breaks tackle, cuts up inside, breaks another tackle. He's into the secondary, down to the 11-yard line. First down, Westerly, Jalen Valentine.
Yeah, I like this kid Valentine a lot. I'm not too sure of a running back with number 5. I can't think of one, but, boy, this kid can move his legs. He's a tough kid. 19 carries for 142 yards for Jalen Valentine.
If you're just joining us, Westerly does not employ the use of a quarterback. They use an old single wing where they've got 3 running backs, and they snap the ball directly to somebody different all the time, but the primary guy is Jalen Valentine, and he has the ball here. Off a right tackle, cuts it back inside. Jalen Valentine down towards the goal line where he is wrapped up, and he is going to be down at, it looks like, the 5-yard line. A great run on first down by Jalen Valentine, and he is going to be marked down at the 5, and that is going to be right there in scoring position for the Bulldogs.
20th run of the game, and this kid's a throwback, Jalen Valentine. He's a feature back. He's carrying the load out there. He's done it all tonight. On the ground, kicking game, special teams, he's done it all.
In the world of spread offenses, these two teams, if you didn't know better, you could have realized you could be in 1955 right now with these two teams playing football. 2nd and 3 from the 5. Westerly knocking on the door. Direct snap, Valentine. Valentine off right tackle, lowers his head, turns towards the end zone. Touchdown, Westerly. Jalen Valentine.
3rd touchdown of the game. 3 touchdowns on 21 carries and 148 yards for number 5. Big drive that time by the Westerly Bulldogs. 14 plays going 95 yards, Casey O'Neill.
And with 8:55 remaining in this ball game, Westerly is within 3, 21-18, and they will send out Connor Swain to kick the extra point and try to make this a 2-point ball game, rallying with 18 consecutive points.
Yeah.
Snap is good, hold is good, kick is low, and it is well left, shanked by Swain. So it remains a 21-18 game, but the difference in this game, 3 missed extra points, 3 touchdowns apiece. Westerly has come back with 3 touchdowns to answer Fitch, but they have not converted on any of the extra points.
Yeah, you could look back to the last touchdown that Westerly scored when they went for 2. Maybe they shouldn't have. At what point of the game do you not? I mean, I'm not a coach, so I don't know.
Well, considering he's 0 for 2 on his 2 PATs, I might go for 2 every single
time.
time.
Yeah. Listen, we got ourselves a ball game here, and it's crazy because we've had almost nearly a quarter and a half of football played here in the second half, Casey, with only 2 possessions. One by Fitch, one by Westerly. Both 13 play drives.
2 things that come to mind. One is that Stat Guru 2.0 has already made me forget the name of whoever was our Stat Guru.
Oh, he's on top of it. He's in my ear, man.
So now he is literally a pizza away from me from me like erecting a game day statue to him. That's all I'm saying. But no, we have done a lot of games here, Keith, over the past few years. We've never seen this. We've seen 8 possessions in 2 minutes. We've seen wild stuff. I've never seen 2 possessions take up almost a quarter and a half.
Yeah, you had no voice last year when Bacon came in here and played Fitch that great game. But this has been 2 ground and pound possessions here, Casey, and this is a good football game. This has become a tough football game.
I'd say in the first quarter of this game, Coach Miranda had to be saying, uh-oh. And since then, for the last 2 quarters of this game, Westerly has outplayed Fitch, and he has got to be thrilled. And this is what he said. He said that we're hard to prepare for. These kids love football. It's a football community. They want to do well. They want to succeed. They live football. And it's showing here with the resiliency of this Westerly team.
Yeah, good point, Casey. Down 20-0. You can pack it in, or you can stand up and fight.
High end over end kick by Swain comes down to the 10-yard line. And the Westerly team is very quick to cover up on Figueroa, and they're going to have the ball. Fitch is at their own 22-yard line. Actually, that was Isaiah Sebastian that time on the return, but either way, it's going to be 1st and 10 Falcons with the ball at the 24-yard line. 8:49 remaining here in the ball game. 21-18 Fitch, and basically they want to just repeat that last drive and not give the ball back.
They'll chew up some clock. No problem whatsoever. They're in the lead. They're in the driver's seat.
What's interesting is I don't think Westerly can have a lot of confidence in the idea of a field goal, and they're not a team that throws the ball, so they're going to need a significant amount of time to try to score points. 1st and 10, Nelly the quarterback, in motion Sebastian, handoff straight up the middle to Scott. Scott breaks a tackle and off a right tackle, and he gets about 5 on first down. Tough run by Hollis Scott. Not the same sort of explosiveness that he had in the first period before he turned that ankle.
Yeah, and again, the defense adjustment here by Westerly to bring up linebackers Seth Rodine to the line of scrimmage to try and snuff out that inside handoff a little bit. Nice adjustment here by Westerly, bringing extra people to the line of scrimmage to try and stuff that run.
2nd and 5. Ball is at their own 30-yard line. 8:25 remaining in the ball game. Falcons on top 21-18 in what has now become a good ball game. In motion, Sebastian. And he fumbles the pitch. Ball's on the turf. Ball's loose. Falcons fall on it, but all the way back inside their 20-yard line. And they averted disaster. Number 54 of the Falcons, left tackle Aiden Green, was wise enough and heady enough to fall on the football, or else Westerly would have been in a position to take the lead.
And there's been 2 or 3 plays here tonight where Fitch has really shot themselves in the foot, and they were lucky to get the ball back on that play, Casey. Westerly in good shape here, is tough down and distance, 3rd and forever here for the Falcons offense.
Sebastian never had a chance at that pitch.
No.
It was behind him on the turf, and luckily Green fell on the ball, or Westerly would have been inside the 20. Instead, it's 3rd and forever from the 18-yard line. Nelly rolls right. He's going to keep it. Avoids one tackle and goes out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Up maybe to the original line of scrimmage. But that's going to bring up 4th and 10. And more importantly, it's going to stop the clock with 7:25 remaining. And Westerly will get the football back. And that means that number 5, Jalen Valentine, is going to be returning this punt. Let's see if Fitch has the courage to kick it toward him.
Linebacking core, Austin Martin, Junior Rios, and Seth Rodine taking this ball game over a little bit for the Westerly Bulldog defense.
Andrews back to punt, standing at his own 10-yard line. Valentine stands at his own 40. High, spiraling, end-over-end kick, lands and bounces. Takes a great Falcons bounce. Valentine picks it up at his own 25-yard line. And he stumbles to the turf and goes down at the 27. Fitch gets a great break there. The kick took an incredible Fitch bounce, ran Valentine all the way back to his own 20, and then he stumbled.
Yeah.
He was trying. What happened was he was trying to
cut
wait
back,
but he didn't want to. His blocker was set up for a block in the back. He saw it, hesitated to try to let his blocker get where he needed to be, and he fell to the turf.
Yeah, that punt cost Westerly almost 15 yards in field position, Case.
So let's set the stage. Down 21-18. Westerly with the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 25. 7:13 remaining in the ball game. I think Westerly wants to score with no time. I think that's their goal. Score right now with nothing else.
11 play, 7-minute drive.
That's what they're looking to do right now. Yes, they do
Send
not
it.
want to give the Falcons another chance. 1st and 10, Bulldogs from their own 25. Snap goes straight up the middle to Juni Rios. Rios, hard fought, 4 yards right off a right tackle, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 7 with the ball marked right on the 30-yard line.
You know, Coach Miranda actually said that we've got some characters here. You know, we've got some tough kids. We've got some scrappy kids. We don't have the best football players, but we got some guys that can go get it. You know, and Juni Rios playing both ways, linebacker, now fullback. I think Coach Miranda was right.
He said that it was a football community and that they were tough, and they are showing it here, are the Bulldogs. And a flag on the play. Looks like that Fitch may have lined up in the neutral zone. Let's see what the call is. If that's the case,
Encroachment,
it'll bring be all a very short 2nd down, and it is.
And it is.
Encroachment against the Falcons, lining up in the neutral zone. That's going to make it 2nd and 2 and move the ball to the 35-yard line. You know, Coach Ellis was saying that he was very disappointed in his offensive line in that scrimmage against against Stonington. But the offensive line has played, I'd say, pretty well, but they have sort of they just haven't been able to convert after that long drive. The offensive line has done exactly what he's hoped they could do. It's the young quarterback right now who put the ball on the turf. Direct snap, Jalen Valentine. Valentine trying to get to the corner, cuts it back inside, has a 1st down all the way up to the 40-yard line. Jalen Valentine following his right tackle all the way out to the 40-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 Westerly.
22 carries for 162 yards for Jalen Valentine. Found just a little bit of room, Casey, over there on the right side. Turned it upfield and picked up good yards.
1st and 10 Westerly. Ball at their own 40-yard line. We are now under 6 minutes remaining here in the ball game. Pretty quickly, time will become a concern. Westerly still 60 yards away from taking the lead in this game. Fitch up tight on the line. Expecting a snap. This time it goes to Rios. Rios straight up the middle. Rios pushing forward, airborne with Fitch tacklers lifting him in the air, but he falls forward for a gain of 5. Tough run by Juni Rios.
That big offensive line by the Westerly Bulldogs just trying to move bodies up front. Create any kind of room whatsoever for Rios. 4-yard pickup on 1st down, Case.
2nd and 7, let's call it 2nd and 6.5. Ball at the 43-yard line. We're coming down towards 5 minutes, though. Straight snap to Valentine. Valentine heads off right tackle, cuts it back up. Valentine with a head of steam. Valentine's going to be brought down about a yard shy of the first down. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1 up near midfield. Big 3rd down play, but clearly 4 down territory. So Westerly's going to have 2 cracks to gain 2 yards.
And I don't think there's any kind of secret here who's going to get the ball. Valentine's your guy.
3rd and we're going to call it 3. They're going to mark it at the 47-yard line. 3rd and 3 for Westerly. 4:35 remaining in the ball game. 21-18 Falcons. Snap goes to Valentine. Off left tackle. Cuts it back up to the right. 1st down. Crosses midfield. Jalen Valentine has Westerly in Falcons territory, and the Westerly offensive line is starting to seize control.
Casey, we were 4.5 minutes left to go in this ball game. Fitch has had 1 possession in the second half. 1 possession.
Westerly's had 2.
Think about that.
3 possessions in the second half of this game.
2 possessions.
4 possessions.
4 possessions in the second half, yeah.
I know, it's hard to believe.
3 and out.
4-10 and counting. 21-18 Westerly. 1st down from the 46 of Fitch. Fatigue a factor. Straight snap. Valentine. Off left tackle. Valentine in the open. Breaks the tackle. Valentine's at the 20. Valentine's at the 10. And the Westerly Bulldogs have taken the lead with 3:51 in the game. Jalen Valentine with his 4th touchdown of the game.
220 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns, like you said, Casey, for Jalen Valentine. And Westerly just kept chopping wood up front. And boom, 6 points by Valentine. I don't think Dwayne Miranda could have scripted that drive any better.
24-21 and a huge point after for Westerly to make this a touchdown game versus a field goal game. So far, Westerly is 0 for 3 on point after attempts, 2 missed kicks, and a missed 2-point conversion.
Wow.
And they are sending Connor Swain onto the field for the extra point.
What a football game.
24-21, and here comes the extra point by Swain. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up, and it is no good. Wide right. And Westerly is 0 for 4 on extra points, but they lead for the first time in the ball game after 24 unanswered points. 24 for Westerly, 21 for Fitch, 3:51 remaining. Hey, everybody, welcome back to game day.
What a performance tonight by Jalen Valentine. And again, I keep going back to this. You got to give that Westerly offensive line, Casey, a lot of credit. You got the names in front of you. Call these guys out because they have come to play in the second half.
You know, you watched the special, and Matt Kapfer said that he said, we're just a bunch of, friends that are big guys. We work hard. We eat meatballs till we can't get up off the couch anymore.
Capicola?
You gotta have to learn to pronounce that.
All right,
right.
I got you.
How do you say Ricotta?
Ricotta.
It's not ricotta. No, it's not ricotta. It's not ricotta.
I got coach in my ear.
It's
you in my ear.
ricotta cheese. Come on, you are. The problem is you got the O at the beginning of your name instead of the end of your name. That's the problem. Coach
Casey O'Neill.
Coach Ficini's got the I. But I'm a Vendetto and a Santanello. I'm a Bartelli. I got all the vowels at the end of the name.
I'm a steak and potatoes guy.
You are definitely a steak and potatoes guy. You ordered the pasta bologna when we were up in Worcester. I had to tell you what a bolognese was.
Sure.
It's from Bologna in the.
Good football game here, Casey. Week 1. I mean, we couldn't ask for anything more.
Where are we going to be next week, Sports Doctor? Right up the road, huh?
Stonington High School, right up the road.
Game 2 on game day. Killingly at Stonington in week 2.
Good team there in Killingly.
Swain kicks off for Westerly, spiraling and comes down on the turf. Picked up and out of bounds will go Sebastian and Fitch will have the ball at their own 25-yard line. So let's set the stage here. Fitch in the home black uniforms, trailing for the first time tonight, 24-21, with the ball at their own 25-yard line, 1st and 10, and 75 yards separates them and a hard-fought victory after leading this thing 21-0. Let's see what the Falcons do. They got two sophomores at quarterback, and they do not love to throw the football, but they're going to have to get back in this game, I think, with 3:46 remaining. In motion, Figueroa. Nelly is the quarterback. Nelly hands the ball up the middle to Scott. Scott's going to gain about 4 yards. Fitch keeps wanting to pound that middle, but what are you trying to soften him up for at this point?
Yeah, the defense adjustment, again, too, by Westerly, by creeping extra linebackers up to the line of scrimmage, has really taken away any kind of lane that Scott may have, Casey. In the first half, some bad assignments, and that's what allowed Scott to, run free for 78 yards at a touchdown. But right now, if Dwayne Miranda had any kind of questions about his defense and the assignments and their tackling skills, right now they shored things up a little bit.
Third, 3:15 remaining, 2nd and 10. Nelly keeps it himself, hands the ball. Nope, he's still got it. First down, Falcons. That was a broken play, but quarterback Tyler Nelly held onto that ball. That was very, very difficult to read. Westerly couldn't either.
Yeah, a lot of guts that time by the sophomore, too. He took a pop at the end of that play, hung on to the ball. Last thing Fitch needs right now is put the ball back on the turf.
Yeah, Nelly that time, it was faked out us, it faked out Westerly, faked out everybody here. Kept the football, but he got it up to the 44-yard line. 1st and 10 Falcons, 2:50 and ticking here. Fitch trailing 24-21. Zach Letellier down at the bottom of your radio dial here. In motion, McClish. McClish gets the pitch on the option. McClish needs to get to the outside. He does, and gets out of bounds after crossing midfield. Smart play by Cleon McClish. Got all he could and got out of bounds after a gain of 7.
Yeah, Britcher coming from his strong safety position to make the tackle that time. John Britcher.
2nd down and a long 3 or a short 4, depending on how you want to look at it. 2:34 remaining. 24 Westerly, 21 Falcons.
We got a ball game. Seems like every time we come to Fitch High School, last year was Bacon Academy. This year, Westerly's in the house.
And the one constant is so far, Coach Ellis has not liked how any of these games have turned out from a Falcons standpoint. Let's see if Fitch can pull it off here tonight in the home opener for the 2016 high school football season. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, as the day brings you continuing coverage of high school football. And we got ourselves a good one.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I get down in the field right after the game, Casey, and grab the winning coach. So if you're out there, grab a little post-game, ask a couple questions before the coaches meet with their teams.
Yep, you can basically ask 3 questions. Send it back to me, and we will get you ready. 1 minute and 34 seconds, and you're heading to the field because there's 2:34 remaining in the ball game. 2nd and 3 Falcons, and they just crossed over into the Westerly side of things. 49-yard line. Are they going to put the ball in the air is the question I think is on my mind right now.
It's the 5th possession, only the 5th possession in the second half.
Tyler Nelly, the sophomore, under center. In motion, Sebastian. Handoff up the middle, it goes to Scott. And Scott will have a first down for the Falcons, crossing the 45-yard line to the 44. Clock will stop, chains will move.
Boy, Scott keeps his legs moving when he hits that hole, and that's what makes him dangerous. Tough to tackle him. 8 carries for 108 yards for Scott in this ballgame so far.
That included the big 77-yard touchdown run that I thought was sealing the deal on this one, putting Fitch up 21-0. But 24 unanswered points by the Westerly Bulldogs. 1st and 10, ball at the 44-yard line. Ball's on the field. Nelly picks it up and falls forward for a gain of 5. Nelly did not get the snap clean that time from center Ryan Kohler, but was able to fall forward for 4 yards.
Yeah, it looked like he was bailing on the play a little bit early. Young sophomore quarterback did not have the exchange from center. It's like he was trying to take off and run the play.
We just crept under 2 minutes with 1:58 remaining in the ball game, and Falcons call a timeout. Westerly 24, Fitch 21, 1:58 remaining here in the ball game. Falcons with the football, 2nd and 7. Ball is at the 41-yard line. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor Keith O'Brien, Stat Guru 2.0, giving us all the information that we need. The junior voice of Game Day, keeping it light on the side. Peter Wappy and all of his crew giving you all the best highlights on Tuesday. Check out Wired Zone on theday.com, where you will get the best video package that anyone in the state of Connecticut puts out, a NFL games style video package, the Wired Zone, on Tuesday on theday.com.
Yeah, good football game here tonight, Casey. And I'm sure that coaches will have a lot of questions answered, win or lose tonight.
2nd and 7. Ball is at the 41-yard line. Tyler Nelly under center. Nelly hands the ball straight off to Scott, and nothing there that time. Big 83, Matt Marone, comes in and makes the stop for Westerly. A huge stop from his left defensive end position. It's going to bring up a 3rd and a long 7.
Yeah, defense has played very well here since they spotted Fitch 21 points early in this ball game. I like what I see out of this young Westerly Bulldog defense.
Throwing a three-quarter shutout right now.
They've grown up a little bit here, Casey, tonight.
It's a good way of putting it. Trips now, Twins out left for the Falcons. In motion, McClish. Nelly on the option. Out of bounds goes the football on the pitch to McClish, and that's going to be a loss on the play, and it's going to bring up 4th and perhaps as long as 9. 1:20 remaining here in the ball game. 1:20 remaining here in the ballgame. 24 for Westerly, 21. Westerly, 1:20 remaining here. The Falcons with a big 4th and 10. And we're going to get a timeout on the field. Timeout Falcons, as they're going to talk about what they're going to do here on this big 4th down play. The sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, has headed down to the field. He is going to get the winning coach of this ball game. The question is, who is that winning coach going to be? Is it going to be Westerly Bulldogs head coach Dwayne Miranda, coaching his first game at Westerly High School and seeing his team come back from a 21-point deficit, 21-0 deficit for that matter, to lead 24-21? Or is it going to be second-year Fitch head coach Mike Ellis, who has seen his team lose a 21-point first quarter lead, trailing 24-21, but they have the football, and they have it at the Westerly 43-yard line. However, it's 4th and 9, and a pivotal play, could be the final play of the game for Fitch. Let's find out what the Falcons have. It's all night long. It's been predominantly sophomore Tyler Nelly. He has done a great job behind center. We've seen some glimpses of Hamir Stevens, but it looks like it is going to be Stevens in the game. Hamir Stevens from the shotgun. 4th and 9. Gets the snap. Drops back. Pressured. Steps up. Still on his feet. Stevens breaks a tackle. Did he get enough? Westerly doesn't think so. The officials have him down at the 35-yard line. It's a half-yard short. Hamir Stevens with a great effort, but he comes up short. And a jubilant Westerly Bulldog sideline as Westerly holds and takes back possession of the football with 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining in the ball game. And Westerly should be able to run out the clock. 24-21, 1:12 remaining. Stevens took the snap, wanted to throw the football, didn't see anything he liked. He tucked it, broke a tackle. He needed to get 10. He got 9.5. Great effort from the sophomore, but not enough. And unbelievably, the Westerly High School Bulldogs are going to win this football game, barring something completely unpredictable and unforeseen. You're listening to Game Day Live on theday.com. This is Casey O'Neill. The sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, is down on the field. He's going to talk to the winning head coach at the end of this football game. Right now, it looks to be Dwayne Miranda in his first game at Westerly High School, 24-21 Westerly, 1:12 remaining, and the Bulldogs are going to go into the victory formation, and they are going to try to run this thing out. As long as the snap is clean, they should be able to end this football game. Clean snap, and a knee is taken by Ethan Holloway. That's going to take the clock down to about 1 minute and 7 seconds, where the Falcons will call a timeout. And that is going to be the end of it. And the Westerly Bulldogs are a couple snaps away from running this clock out. 24-21, Westerly on top. Hard to believe when we started this football game, as Cleon McClish opened the game with a 10-yard scamper, putting Fitch Fitch on top 7-0, and then Isaiah Sebastian with a short touchdown run made it 14-0 Falcons. With 11:35 in the second quarter, Hollis Scott, 77 yards on a fullback dive that he broke wide open, and the Falcons had a 21-0 lead, and it seemed like they were going to cruise through this thing. But 4 unanswered touchdowns, all by sophomore Jalen Valentine of the Westerly Bulldogs. An incredible night for Valentine. A huge rushing total tonight. 217 yards for Jalen Valentine. And he is the star of the game, despite 4 missed extra points, 3 failed kicks, and a failed 2-point conversion. The Westerly Bulldogs had scored 24 unanswered points. The clock now down under 50 seconds. They are winding it. One more snap for Westerly here, and they will be able to open up the season with a victory in Coach Dwayne Miranda's first game as Westerly head coach. Direct snap and a knee. Clock is under 30, 28 seconds remaining. 4th and 14, Westerly taking their knee, and the clock is ticking down, and there is nothing that Fitch can do to stop the clock. Coach Miranda, very excited. He wants to get on the field with his team. We're now down under 10 seconds. The Bulldogs heading to the sideline. 7, 6, 5. Congratulations, Dwayne Miranda. You are 1-0 as the head football coach at Westerly High School with an improbable 24-21 comeback victory over a stunned Fitch Falcon football team here at Fitch High School. 24 unanswered points. An unbelievable effort by the Westerly offensive line and young Jalen Valentine, the sophomore. Over 200 yards rushing as the Bulldogs kept the ball on the ground. Junie Rios leading the way. Jalen Valentine, an absolute stellar player of the game performance. 4 touchdowns for the sophomore and over 200 yards rushing. The Falcons losing a 21-0 lead with 4 straight Westerly scores. We're going to be down on the field with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien. He's going to have Westerly head football coach Dwayne Miranda in just a moment. And I can't wait to hear the excitement and passion in Coach Miranda's voice after his team just improbably came back from down 21-0. Keith O'Brien, you are down on the sidelines with Coach Dwayne Miranda.
Head coach Dwayne Miranda. Dwayne, big-time win here tonight for you kids.
You know, I've never been more exhausted after a football game than today. It was just high-intensity coaching. The kids picked it up. I mean, we spotted them 21 points. And, you know, young defense. We made a lot of adjustments, and our kids reacted to it. You know, we talked about it as a team. Step 1 was coming together as a family. Step 2 was doing that through some perseverance and adversity. And our kids looked at themselves in the mirror, and they said, how am I going to react to this? How am I going to better the football team? They all did it a great way. I'm very proud of them.
Down 21-0, your team had two choices. Fight or go home.
Bulldogs don't go home. It's a dog fight. That's what this was today, and we just reacted the right way.
And your offensive line, they wear them down a bit in the second half?
Absolutely. We just felt as though we had a couple plays that we continually go to. Jalen Valentine picked it up big. Whole defense picked it up big. Special teams, kickoff. We gave up a big kickoff return in our game scrimmage last week, and today they were lights out. Great job.
What's it going to be tonight? Pepperoni, soupy, capigo, a little
I'm
pasta?
having it all tonight, baby. I'm having it all.
All right, good job tonight, Coach. All right.
That was Westerly head football coach Dwayne Miranda as the Westerly Bulldogs go to 1-0 on the season this year with an improbable victory over the Fitch Falcons, 24-21 here at Fitch High School. Join us next week on game day as we will be at Stonington High School, where the Stonington High School Bears play host to the Killingly Redmen. Hey, junior voice of game day, what'd you think of that?
Well, that was certainly unexpected. Well, you know the drill. Your score, Bulldogs 24, Falcons 21. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. See you next time.